welcome everybody to another episode of Battle School Dropouts. Today we're going to be talking about the first 7 episodes of HAJIME no IPPO. But I'm Stew.
I'm Bakari.
And joining us today
is Charlie.
How's it going?
Going pretty well. Thanks
yeah.
for having me on the show. I'm really excited.
Of course.
Before we get into anime, gotta ask you, Charlie, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Those episodes just flew by, so I'm really excited to record this.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's nice. Like we were saying earlier, like it's nice to watch anime and not have it like just fucking drain all of your fucking energy.
Yeah, it's always a marker of a good one if it goes by quickly. Because some of them really drag.
Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like we've been pretty fortunate on the podcast so far.
For the most part. There's definitely been a few that, like, by the time we're finished with episode 6, I'm like, great, we're done. Fuck, I have to do something after this. Oh, no. I was just going to lay down and try to forget that.
just get it out of my brain.
Yeah.
Whereas good ones like Space Brothers.
Yeah.
Like Space Brothers.
Yeah. No amount of drinking was able to get that anime out of our heads.
I mean, it was, honestly, I don't know about you, I don't remember a fucking thing about that anime. Like, very, very, I remember it's brothers want to go to space. One of them does go to space, the other one wants to. I assume he does eventually.
Yeah.
That's it.
My favorite thing about that episode is the way you're like trying so hard to be nice and like fair about it. And this is the actual thing you said. You're like, if you just want something to like unwind with when you come home from work.
I still stand by that evaluation. Like, it's not all that interesting. But, I mean, it's not the worst thing to spend your time watching.
Yeah. Like, I know people who finished the show, and I don't think less of them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if somebody was like, oh, man, I fucking loved Eat Man, I'd be like, we gotta have a conversation. Like, what is it about this show that you liked?
It's very good. Static noise would also be
10-hour white noise on YouTube.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, like, if that, I don't know when Space Brothers came out, but, like, if that came out in the age before streaming where, like, you know, it just came on TV, like, every night, like, that would make a lot more sense to have that be the thing you watch. If you don't have, like, everything ever at your fingertips, then and Space Brothers was on, you're like, yeah, sure, I'll crack open a beer, watch some of this. But, like, now it's like I could watch literally anything else with 2 clicks.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like it's tough too because like without streaming and whatnot, it's like okay, you know, maybe you don't have as many channels, maybe you don't have as many options, but it's like I felt like it, you know, never gets its hooks in you. So you're like, I guess I could watch something on the other channel though.
No, that's true. Yeah. I like how this immediately became the Fuck Space Brothers
Fuck
episode.
Space Brothers.
Just had to follow up on it.
I love that we have more mean things to say about Space Brothers than Eat Man. We're like, Eat Man sucks, but Space Brothers, let me tell you why I did not like it.
I mean, it's that concept of, like, if something's really bad, you can kind of enjoy it. And if something's really good, obviously it's enjoyable. But, like, Space Brothers was kind of just in that I have no reason to connect to this at all.
Yeah.
It's just, it's middle of the road, and thus I don't really care.
Well, no, I think we talked about it, but I gotta ask you, are you a gamer, Charlie?
I'm not.
All right, okay, that's good. That's good.
I think they're very cool, and I love reading about them. But yeah, it just has never been something that's really connected with me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So you're more of on the movie side of stuff?
Yeah, I tend to be more movies and TV shows and books and stuff. One of my favorite things about that, though, is I was working at a dispensary for a while, and when I first was working there and the receptionist got to know me, she found out I don't play video games, and she looked at me with total sincere and horror and said, well, what do you do?
What? Really?
Yeah.
When I worked at a Starbucks, the assistant manager lady one time, like, I'm not wearing video game shirts to work or anything.
Right.
I'm not just out there talking about Sonic, like, you know, to people who just want their drinks or whatever. But I came back in.
I don't believe that.
Much. I came back in from, like, a smoke break or something, and, like, she's looking at me as I'm walking in. I'm just like, hey, what's up? And she's just like, Bakari, I heard... Are you a gamer? Like, the same thing, like, that same, like, abject disgust. Like, are you a gamer? And I was like...
I trusted you.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I don't use the word, but, like, yeah, I like video games a lot. And she just, like, shook her head and went back to whatever she was doing. I lost her respect forever.
Yeah, I knew this guy. He seemed really cool, but he was a gamer.
Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it.
And that's why gamers will forever be the most oppressed piece of society.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. The most marginalized class, gamers. Yeah.
So what do you do?
Wait, I need to cycle back to something. You said you read books?
Yes.
Like,
and some of them don't have pictures.
No,
What the fuck?
no, hold on. I got tricked by this. I got tricked like this before.
Yeah.
Is it like a book with paper, or is it like an audiobook?
I do mostly audiobooks,
Okay.
but I also do books with paper.
Oh,
it really depends. Like, I'm very picky with audiobooks. Like, the reading of it is really important, and I've
Sure.
heard ones that are horrible. And also, we don't need to make this whole podcast into being about that, but like, some writers' writing lends itself to being spoken really well, and other people literally write just for the page. Like, it doesn't come through. It's not... Like, the run-on sentences are so absurd that they're not meant to be read out loud.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So
Yeah.
it really depends. Particularly when I read noirs, though. I have to do the audiobook because, like, noir audiobook people are incredible. And they, like, really throw in on the, like, absurd, like... I read a lot of Mickey Spillane books, and the guy who does the audiobooks for those is amazing. Like, it's better than some of the noir movies.
Is he doing like the accents you would hear? That sort of
Yeah.
like transatlantic, like gritty kind of thing.
Super raspy. Sounds like he'd like just put out a cigarette. Every time he pauses, you imagine he's like drinking hard alcohol.
Going to like good audiobook experience. I was talking to Tim. He was like listening to this like fantasy epic all on audiobook and had like, so it was like a 4-part thing. 3 of them were all read by the same person, and then the last one had
that
somebody
can
else
kill
do
me.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do that. That's terrible.
Yeah, and like I don't think the person was as good either, so it's like you're hooked. You want to listen to it, but like, oh,
That's rough.
Yeah.
I know a really noteworthy thing is there was a specific audiobook guy who read all of Stephen King's books, and he was like the only one Stephen King wanted to do it, and he was like an avid motorcycle guy, and he just died. Like, he like got in a motorcycle accident and died, as motorcyclists are prone to do, unfortunately. There was like a tribute to him at the beginning of one of the audiobooks. My friend played it for me because it was like so wild, because he was just trying to listen to an audiobook. And he said it was like this, like, we're ashamed that this guy can't read it. And the funniest thing is thinking about the guy who wound up recording the audiobook for that one, having to just be like, yeah, it's a bummer that I'm doing this.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not him.
yeah. Maybe one day I'll be as good, but for now I am just a feeble voice man.
Yeah.
There was I can't remember if it was a book or an essay or like it was a professional reading of something. Anthony showed me this, and it was read by a white guy, but it was written by a black woman, and he tries to do her voice. Like throughout everything, the narration, the dialogue, everything, he's trying to read this in the like affectations of a like, you know, I think middle-aged black woman.
Like that.
It's not. It
not
was.
good.
I'm not even gonna try and repeat it. You know, it's just because
Yeah.
I don't remember what the fuck it was about, and also it just doesn't sound like a good idea. It was the fucking worst thing. And I'm like, is that just the professional standard? Like, you gotta try it. Like,
I don't want that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. However, I do really like, especially if it's biography, if they go out of their way to like get somebody who is
sure.
Like, I did Gucci's autobiography on audiobook, and it was really good, and they actually got, like, a southern person instead of just getting, like... Because, like, his accent is very specific to everything about him.
Right.
You know, it was very distinguishing, so... I appreciated that was what they went after with, like, having somebody voice that.
This is Gucci, the clothing designer, or Gucci Mane, the rapper?
Gucci Mane, the rapper.
Okay, I was wondering, I was like, so I thought Gucci was Italian or something.
Can you imagine super southern, but like about an Italian?
I was like, I don't know anything about clothes, maybe.
God, I would love that. Is there, this is a slight tangent, but like, is there a term for like, because like, blackface is when a white person dresses up as a black person, right?
Voice.
Like, yeah, like, what is it if a white person tries to impersonate a non-white person? Like, because like you see all the time. There's also those posts where it's like, I'm a black man and I've never faced racism until I voted for Trump, and then the profile picture is like a white guy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. I actually know the answer to this. It's racist.
Oh,
there you go. I've heard like blackface or blackfishing be used.
Oh, blackfish.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's more like what you're talking about, like somebody pretending to be black on the internet, you know, so
Yeah.
for the N-word pass and whatnot. I don't know if there's other words for other races when people do that.
I do know white voice is like a huge thing and like a problem, like particularly like when people of color are trying to get like a loan. That's like a big thing. That was like, there was even like a study done on it that I read where like if they impersonate a white person, they're more likely to actually get it.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible stuff.
That's wild.
Yeah, I've definitely changed my name on a lot of resumes and stuff, like for that reason.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, the world's terrible.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh man. Yeah, no, I recommend just try being a white guy. This is working out great for me.
I'm still working on it. Any day now, I'm gonna get there.
If I can do it, so can you.
Exactly.
Part 1 white, part 2 guy. Just hit both bases.
It's a tall mountain to climb, but together we'll get there.
Oh, I'm heterosexual too. Like, I'm just knocking it out of the park,
yeah,
guys.
we didn't even mention that. That one's big too.
I will never face adversity.
Except that one person in DC.
Yeah.
I know you're white.
I know you're white.
She was on to you, dude. She had your fucking
Well,
number.
I mean, she knew I was a gamer, so that was probably it. That's the only. That's where it all falls apart.
Well, she had to just say white instead. She wanted to say gamer, but knew that would just be in poor taste. You know.
If you're listening
Don't
to
wanna
Lost,
punch down.
so am I. Yeah, what's the story?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'll keep it short because we talked about it on the last podcast. But there was like
my mistake.
this aggressive like homeless woman in DC who was like, she was like, "Do you have any change?" I don't. Or, sorry, I don't. I know you're white. Like what? Oh my god. I'm so afraid.
She had you dead to rights, dude.
She got me.
Yeah.
That is a good comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, I left out the part where I was actually in blackface the whole time. So she did a really good job with that one.
I'd love if you were just like, you got me.
Yeah. Oh, shit, pull out the
So
wallet.
I'm gonna give her like a 20.
All right, what's your cash app? Come on.
Do you take cards? She has a little machine.
She had like the smart card reader on the top.
Oh, you have Apple Pay.
Oh, so you been watching anything good lately?
Yeah, I was telling Bakari earlier that I've been getting into Kaneko Man. Is really great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's been really cool, and yeah, I haven't done an anime in a while, so it's been pretty cool. And
Because that's like from the 80s?
Yeah, very old. He flies by farting, eats raw garlic constantly. Yeah, it's like wrestling, but like space superheroes. It's awesome. Very funny, very cool.
I like that premise. I could get behind that. We
Sounds
like a
should
good
do an
time.
episode on it.
On it,
sometime.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm on board.
I should. There's like a filler hump at the very beginning that's wild because it's like nothing like the rest of the show. So you should watch like episode 1, 6, and then watch.
Oh, okay.
Because literally it's that many like filler ones with like very little fighting before it gets to like a tournament.
Is it like character building stuff? Like we gotta introduce the ensemble, or is it just like random shit happening?
It's just like random shit.
Okay.
Like there's one where a fan club gets made for him, and he's just like, I'm gonna go hang out with these teenage girls, and then it turns out they're a bunch of like aliens, but like they don't fight him. One of them's just like, I'm gonna let you go. And like that was an episode that happened.
But they weren't.
And they don't
fans?
come back either. No, they weren't. They like pulled off their masks and were like, "We're not high school girls. We're a bunch of..." One of them's like just a skeleton. He's like, "I'm a bone guy." No, don't get me wrong. They're fantastic. But I just suggest going back for them later.
Sure.
And giving like a more accurate representation of the rest of the show.
That makes a lot more sense.
It's like Dragon Ball. Like the first
Okay.
couple episodes of Dragon Ball are like not they're not reflective of the rest of it, even though I adore them.
Right.
Right.
But like Goku fishing and naked and the Ox King, that stuff isn't like a good reflection until you get to like who's the little guy?
Krillin?
No, the green one.
Oh, the green one.
We're talking about Dragon Ball specifically. The first one when they summon.
It's not.
He has the girl and then the fox.
Is it Pilaf?
Yeah, I think it's Pilaf. Yeah, but like if you don't even get to him, it's not like I feel like it's not. You're not getting the whole package.
Yeah.
Does Dragon Ball have like tournament arcs in it, or is it just...
Dragon Ball is mostly tournament arcs, isn't it?
Well, so you do Dragon Ball, and there's like multiple Dragon Ball summonings, and then the final like 2 seasons, Goku is an adult all of a sudden. Like a long time passes, and then they actually do a tournament arc, and it's literally Dragon Ball Z already at that point, but they just like don't split it off right away for some reason. But yeah, that tournament arc is really good.
Okay.
It's also the original Piccolo comes in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at the end of that of Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, because he's like a villain in the original, right?
Yeah, and like a badass villain
Yeah.
too. He's like got hella demons that are like they're just like swooping down and grabbing people. And stuff.
Oh, that rule.
Yeah, no, like it gets hardcore out of nowhere. It's kind of awesome.
Because like, with the exception of like Krillin and Bulma and a couple other characters, like most of Goku's buds were at one point antagonists, right? Like Tien and Yamcha were like both attacked him at some point. Piccolo was like a villain, and then Vegeta was a villain.
Yeah.
Even
Android
Frieza,
18.
Yeah, 18 and 17.
Yeah.
Frieza even becomes a bud in Super apparently.
Oh.
I haven't watched that far, but apparently they're buds.
That's weird.
Guy that killed his dad, so we're all good now.
I still need to watch Super. That's crazy to me because I remember watching the thing where Frieza comes back from hell. And that was pretty late, and Frieza was still an enemy in that. You know what I'm talking about? Frieza's like gold, I think, in that.
Oh yeah, that's Resurrection of F. He beats him again. Frieza goes back to hell, but like worse hell, I think. And then later on, they've
Hell
got
too.
They've got the tournament.
This time it's worse.
Yeah, it's like extra hell. And then like later, there's like there's a tournament they need to fight in, and if they don't win it, then their entire universe gets destroyed because there's like they introduce parallel universes, and I think Goku and the gang is like, we need all the help we can get. Let's get Frieza, and then he's like, "Fuck you," and they're like, "Please," and he goes like, "Sure," and then they're just he's learned his lesson after getting killed like 4 times.
Yeah,
it's like original, and then there's Mecha Frieza, and then Resurrection. Yeah, so yeah.
Damn.
The last time I went through like Dragon Ball anything, I was really impressed with the movies. I think I had underestimated how good the movies are, in my opinion.
I've seen
They're
some
really
like
solid.
really good ones and really not good ones.
Yes.
But the really good ones are really fucking good.
They hit hard, and when they don't hit, they really miss.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. A lot of them are not mediocre. They're either very good or very not good.
Totally.
I just found the Big Green dub and the Speedy, or I think a Speedy dub of Dragon Ball Z.
You showed some of this.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah. And but like in watching that, it's like, yeah, you're dead on. Like watching those movies, I was like, wait, I remember this movie. This movie's really good. And then you hear like his character say like, "No, Piccolo, you're in trouble." Like what?
Love that Broly movie.
Oh, the new Broly movie was so good.
My favorite of all of them is the Future Trunks movie that's just super dark.
Yeah.
For no reason. It's just like everybody dying.
The one-armed Gohan and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know about that like when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I got the it was Dragon Ball Legacy of Goku 2, I think, for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And it starts, you play as Trunks in that timeline, and Gohan has the one arm, and like the androids are just going nuts, and I was like, is this just a knockoff? Like, what the fuck happened? And like, I put that I think I like sold it or something, because I was like, I guess I just found some Dragon Ball fucking fan fiction or something, and then saw that movie. I was like, oh wait, never mind. God damn it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel like that movie is the Terminator movie that they've been trying to make for the past like 4 Terminator movies. Just being like, this is the horrible future you wanted to know about.
Yeah.
And like actually making it compelling.
Yeah.
Instead of just boring.
They go back into that that shitty future in Super, but to fight a completely unrelated villain.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Goku Black, but they call him Black in the dub, just Black. Actually, I think they call him Black. Anyway, at one point Goku shows up and everybody thinks it's Goku Black, And there's a line in the dub where, you know, everybody's got their guns pointed at him. Goku's like in kind of self-defense mode, and then Trunks, adult Trunks from that future timeline, has to yell out, "Wait, don't shoot! This man is not black!" And then everybody lowers their guns. Wonderful.
Oh man.
10 out of 10 show.
10 out of 10. No issues.
Yep, none at all.
Yeah, I remember asking. Somebody told me about Future Trunks coming back in Super, and I was confused by that because you sort of have to acknowledge that, like, he can't change his future, right? If he doesn't change, right?
Yeah.
So he just went and saved like a parallel one.
No,
Oh, that's a good point.
Or
I
right?
think that was always like
he would
established,
be
but
different.
he comes back into the future, I think, into his future, and then
it's
like
better?
yeah, he's just so strong
Oh.
that he just like whoops the androids himself. Like he doesn't need anybody else to help him at that point.
Oh, you're right. That does happen at the end of this Hell Saga.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
He's got that
That's a
long
good
hair and
scene.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like early Cell, right? Like Cell hasn't like evolved
Uh,
either. Like isn't
I
it
think
like
so.
weird like mouth Cell?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't have lips yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That weird, like, half basketball face.
Yeah. It's like a
I
beak or
love
something.
this. The Cell Saga is just solid sci-fi. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, I remember, like, when I was a kid and it was, like,
It's
airing on
scary.
Toonami.
It's
Like,
like
yeah,
kinda
it was
scary.
fucking freaky because it's like he puts the tail in, like, a character that you know and just, like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
a part of me now.
Not just a character, but the richest guy, and then his money flies away in the wind. And 10-year-old you was like, "Whoa, I get it now."
Deep, dude. Visual storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just something about, like, a character being so powerful
Yeah.
and, like, only becoming more powerful as
Yeah.
they did stuff like that. I was like, oh my god. How do they ever do this?
Yeah. How will they top this? Pink Man.
Who turns people into food.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. 'Cause it sure worked.
I remember, like, teenage me thinking that was like what made me not give a shit about Dragon Ball Z. Like, it was kind of at the start of my, like, I don't give a shit about anime phase, but it was like, he can turn anyone into a cookie? That's overpowered. That's a stupid ability. And not thinking about, like, yeah, that's a really powerful thing to give your villain so that the heroes have to overcome it. So there's, like, some stress. I'm like, no, that's stupid. I'm not going to watch this show.
I liked the Boo Saga, and I'll be the first to admit I catch on to things a little late sometimes.
Sure.
But I specifically remember during the like Spirit Bomb part for the Boo Saga, that was like an awakening moment for me because I was like, they're stretching this. I was like, that was like when I first realized that. I was like, this could have happened already.
You're like 400 episodes in, like, this
Wait
seems a little
second.
long.
I was like,
I feel like that's another thing that's like harder to like. Both being a kid and also just watching
Yeah.
the stuff on TV. It's
Right,
just like
yeah.
that's just how it's supposed to be. You don't know any
Yeah,
better. And then
yeah.
like if you get it on DVD or if you like just start streaming it or something, it's like holy fuck. There's so many episodes where nothing happens.
Yeah.
2 minutes of like actual fighting and the rest of it's just
Yeah.
the characters like talking about it or like being worried about it or somebody flying to try to get to the fight so they can help out or like just filler stuff.
And the summaries bug me so much rewatching it, but I remember specifically back then being like so appreciative of them. Because you just miss anything and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Great Voice will sum it all up.
That guy did have a fantastic like
So good.
narrator
Oh,
voice.
yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, that
You
like
notice
guitar
we
riff.
don't
yeah.
we don't really get narrated trailers almost ever anymore.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
You're right.
It's funny with Brendan and Gabby showing those old trailers at
Yeah.
the movie night stuff that we do. It's like, I love those trailers where it's like, Michael was 19 years old and had everything that he could ever need until...
If you like action, you'll love Action 3. More action.
And that lets me know because I like action.
Yeah.
Where am I going to find more action?
Oh, yeah, like, the guy who's not necessarily, like, telling you the plot. He's, like, just trying to, like, sell you the movie, you know?
That's his elevator pitch.
Yeah. Well, you used to have, what was it? Alfred Hitchcock, right? That's his name. right?
Yeah.
He used to like introduce his movies and all that, and like stand out and be like, "I hope you will come see my film."
Yeah,
I
he
worked
would do
really
that in
hard
the
on it.
previews, Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have those in his movies, but they'd have them in his like show. He would do like bits. But yeah, he's a great character, and he had such good advertising methods. He was the first one who came up with Psycho. It was like the first movie where you like, it was like you can't just walk in the middle, which was a thing for like 30 years for some reason. That people would just go to the movies without a showtime, be like, this is playing, I'll just walk in and watch this.
Really?
It's like halfway through. Yeah, no, it blows me away because even as a child, I can't imagine being just like okay with that.
That's crazy to
Walking
think
in
about.
halfway through like Memento and being like, this is fine.
Well, I guess
I'll swing it around and watch the beginning when they show it after.
well, but like, how many times have you like, if you're watching like regular TV, like
Yeah,
just
that's
something's
true.
on,
That's
and then you're
very
just like,
true.
all right, I guess I'm gonna watch like
yeah.
the ending of Terminator 3.
That's
you know?
true. But like, yeah, with a movie theater, there's just something bizarre about that to me. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, he did that with Psycho. He was just like good at like advertising stuff. And I don't know, I like him a lot. I could rant about him for hours, but we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about Stallone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I got boxing stuff I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you guys, I don't know shit about boxing. Like I've seen a couple matches on TV, but like you guys both know more about. Like, you're doing like what just came out of my mouth?
Mutoy?
Mutoy. You're doing the mutoy, right?
Mutoy is like when cows like really incorporate their knees and
Actually, in the Street Fighter 2 movie, the English dub, they when they're talking about Sagat, they like mention that he's a champion Muay Thai fighter, and like so I legitimately thought that's how it was pronounced for years, like as a young boy, you know, it's like, oh, he does Muay Thai, and then like I don't know why the AY is silent, you know, it's just Muay Thai, and then realized that wasn't the case. Luckily learned that before I entered a Muay Thai gym. That was good of me to do.
I have one more quick Kaneko Man thing.
Oh, please.
Just ridiculous cow stories. To again summarize the ridiculous filler ones that you don't need. His whole backstory is that he's the prince of this other planet, and his family was flying by Earth, and there was a pig in his crib, and the mom said, "Go throw that pig out of the ship. It'll hurt the baby." And the dad picked up what he thought was the pig and threw it out into space, and it was the baby. And he landed on Earth. And then late, like 2 episodes later in the filler one, they're like, "You have to go back to your home planet." Why? The pig has grown up and become the king of the planet. And you have to fight him.
Oh, that's so good.
That sounds fantastic. Oh my god.
That started as like an old like 80s joke to just kind of like make fun of somebody and went so far. Oh, I love it.
The best part of it is the mom, after the dad throws the thing, the mom like picks up the baby and is like, "I'm so glad. Wait, this is a pig." And the dad's like, "They look the same." He's like, "I'm just a guy."
Oh, I love that.
Rules.
Okay, but I want to talk about boxing for a
Okay.
bit,
Boxing.
or boxing, or different types of
Fight
stuff.
sports.
So what's your guys'
Fight
relationships with fight sports? I like fight sports.
So when I was going to junior college, I went to Sierra College in Rockland, and I signed up for a Tai Chi class because it sounded, I was curious. I wanted to know what it was about. The teacher of that also taught what was called a combative self-defense class. And she said, "You should sign up. It's great exercise. You'll have a blast." And like, so I did. And I thought it was going to be the whole, like, you know, if they pull a knife out, then you just grab them by the radial nerve and do a front flip, and then they're disarmed. Like, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what it actually was the first 2 weeks she taught us the basics of just Western kickboxing. And then, like, end of week 2, she's like, "All right, next week you need, like the syllabus said, you need gloves, mouth guard, cup if you're a guy." And then, like, once, you know, next week comes around and we're all geared up, and she, like, pairs us up into twos and then just goes like, "All right, go." And, like, we just fought the rest of the class. It was like, that was what we did, was just beat the shit out of each other, like, every day in that semester. And it was wonderful. I had such a great time. I got the shit kicked out of me so much. And it was first thing in the morning too, so I'd like get knocked out and then go to math class. Not smart. But anyway, from there, like once the semester ended, I kind of missed it, and so I found a Muay Thai gym near the school and just started continuing there. And then that place closed down. I went to a boxing gym, and that place kind of sucked. And then I found another Muay Thai gym that closed down, and then I fell out of it for a while. And then the new one, the one that I was going to before, opened up again, and now I'm there. So here we are. There was like a 10-year gap there, but otherwise, that's my relationship with it.
I just really like Stallone. I've seen a lot. I've seen all the Rocky movies a billion times and the Creed movies, which is why I think I've been brought in for this. I have never been in a fight. I'm a poser on that front, whether it's been organized or like on the streets of rage. But I have incorporated a lot of like boxing training things into like my everyday fitness stuff. So I have like a lot of respect for like the things that they do and the absurd amount of pushing their bodies that those people do. And I like to watch boxing. But mostly I'm in it for Rocky, which was why I was brought in on this. And it does actually apply. We were talking about this earlier. Like the key to good sports media is formula, which is like a dirty word for most other genres, but like if you understand it and just hit the base points, you can really do something with a sports movie. Like the formula is all there. Yeah. Just pay attention. It's just like ready to go and be plugged in. Yeah. And the Rocky movies really understand that. And Hajime no Ippo, horrible pronunciation. it really gets it. It's
absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's like I feel like the worst sports movies are the ones where they're like they just don't understand that like it needs to be an underdog story where they beat the bad guys, and the bad guys need to be really bad. Yeah. And the good guys need to be really wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And training montages.
Yeah.
People love to see them. I love to see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like the best pump-up thing ever. Just get you jamming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any sort of like good action montage is just, you're the best around from the Karate Kid. Classic.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have a playlist of all of them that I listen to.
Oh, that's good.
I did karaoke last night. I was looking desperately to see if they had Push It to the Limit.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to. They didn't. It was terrible.
Yeah. Wait, Push It to the Limit?
From Scarface? The Scarface montage song?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Not because not the
instead of like working out, he's like doing cocaine and buying a
my kind of montage.
My favorite thing about that Scarface thing is that they get married and he's like, I want to show you something, and it just has the tiger already and has somehow kept the tiger a secret on their property from her.
Well, I guess if you have enough property.
I guess so. And they do have a big mansion.
Like, if you lived in some place like fucking like Versailles or something, like there's not an impossible chance that like you could spend your entire life and have rooms that you just never went into.
Yeah, if you live in one of those houses where like the Roomba runs out of battery. Get back to like home base.
You just have you have to like plan out like this. Okay, Roomba A deals with the northeast corridor. And,
better they have like pit stop places like around the house.
Multiple chargers.
Yeah, they like they clean the West Wing, and then like they got another charger on the way. I don't know what fucking mountain or mansions are like. Good. I just know I watch a lot of Veep, so I hear the word West Wing a lot. I don't know if it's specific to the White House.
I imagine being like so rich that you have like this giant house that like would require all these charging stations, but not just buying multiple Roombas.
Look, you don't get that wealthy by being frivolous with your money. One hockey puck vacuuming robot is good enough.
Yeah, I don't want to be excessive.
Yeah, exactly. Already bought the mansion,
I was watching videos where people had like mansions and shit.
Yeah.
And they always like there's always a part where they talk about like they have this living room and it's like fucking huge, right? Like it's the size of like most people's houses. Mm-hmm. And they're like, and off to the side here we have this little area, and this is where our family actually convenes a lot and hangs out. I'm like, why do you have this whole other fucking house and you hang out in the smallest room?
It's just a flex.
Mansions stress me out. Like I would like more space. I think most people would. like, even if their house is decently sized, but like, that's too much. Like,
Yeah.
I think even if I had it, I would be like, I don't want this. That's too much lawn for me to handle.
Oh.
I hate
Just be
lawns.
driving on that thing all day.
Oh yeah. No, I
I
had.
hate lawns too.
Yeah. Oh no. Fuck that shit. I did my time as a kid.
You don't think it's a good use of water?
I spent a long time like mowing lawns and
Yeah.
like I'm good. I've done my duty.
Yeah.
You know. Though I do watch those YouTube videos of like people mowing lawns and shit. Like, so I don't know what's wrong with me.
I'm not surprised that's a
What?
thing. I'm just surprised to know
You guys
somebody
don't,
who
you guys,
watches those.
you guys don't see that.
I've never gotten a lawn video
Not
recommended.
once.
When I edit this podcast, I will on the other monitor. I want to watch like something to like visually interested, and I get distracted if I'm on like Twitter or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just put up a video of like a guy mowing like a big ass lawn, and I just put it on mute and I just edit. And I just have this man mowing a lawn.
Wild.
or there's like professional rug cleaning, and like they're like
Oh, I've seen
squeegeeing like
those.
all the dirt out of a rug. I'll watch that shit all day.
That's very pleasant to watch, the rug cleaning ones. I do like those on occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
I was watching it. I was like, is this like, as a guy who's like been unemployed for a while and hasn't worked like a regular job in a long time, like, is this working class porn? Like, oh yeah, I wish I could go mow lawns. Oh, I want to go just clean a rug or something.
I hate the idea of porn being connected to, like, you know, possible
Labor.
employment in the future, you know? Like, do you know, accounting students jack off to, like, spreadsheets or something, you know?
Well,
It's
no,
like,
no,
one day I'll be doing this for a Fortune 500 company.
They're not jerking off to their own lawn videos
Oh.
or whatever. I'm saying, like, to me, like, is this me, like, looking at, like, the working class life and just like, ooh, yeah.
That's gonna be me.
I can't wait to mow a lawn one day.
Like
Do you think in some ways that's what boxing is too? Maybe that's stretching it too
maybe
far.
No, I like it though.
maybe
But, like,
we
it's-
fight just to touch another man?
There. Okay,
Just to feel that kind of
are we
intimacy.
gonna talk about the like homoeroticism of this anime? At
Guys
some
being
point? 'Cause
dudes,
it's just
dude.
like it is prevalent.
I mean, that's the thing with like a lot of sports, like
Yeah.
male-focused
Yeah.
sports stuff, or anything that like. There's like a point where something becomes so masculine that it becomes gay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only female character in this is his mom, and then they introduce a love interest literally for one glance. She has no dialogue.
No name.
In the 6th episode.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just guys being dudes and being like, "Wow, he looks great today."
There
It's
is
awesome.
There's one part much later in the series. I think this happens in like the most recent run that happened in like 2012, 2013, something like that, where the boxing villain that I told you guys about. There's the kind of villain who like gets a little better.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Jake Paul. The Jake Paul, he gets a little better, but then there's like this actually evil guy, and you can tell because he's got a real scary face. Anyway, so Jake Paul has a sister, and first, I don't remember exactly what happens. The villain guy like bumps her, and she says, "Hey, that's rude." And he turns around, and he smacks her one. You know.
Whoa.
And Jake Paul's pissed. He's like ready to fucking just stab this guy. Like he's ready to. He's not ready to box this guy. He's ready to like throw down and potentially kill this guy. And Ippo stops him, and he goes like, "I got a match scheduled with him next week.
Oh,
Let me settle this in the ring."
That's
and I'm like,
so tight.
I don't know if that's supposed to be chivalrous, but he just smacked this woman in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Maybe take this a little more seriously.
oh my god.
It's not good.
Yeah, no, Ippo's just really like horny for boxing.
Yeah.
Like it's your obsession, like it's too far. But I feel like that's the case in a lot of anime, and like it's fun for it, but it's like the show is centered around a certain thing, so the main character, of course, is only going to do that thing.
Of course.
You know, we're only ever going to see them do that.
I want to clarify, when I said that's tight, I wasn't talking about the assault of the woman. I just want to make that super clear.
Oh no, it's too late.
Yeah.
No, it's been clipped. Nobody's listening to
We're
this
cutting
part.
this part out.
Yeah. No, I just meant like the whole. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna legally beat him.
Let me do it the right way.
It'll be fuel, and she's just like bleeding.
Yeah. And like that could have been an interesting moment of like Ippo's character development, where it's like maybe he takes the Boy Scout thing a little too far. Like maybe he's got to learn to actually like get pissed sometimes.
Yeah, like she could have confronted him about it, but instead they just kind of sweep it under the rug.
Totally.
Well, yeah,
like,
and
he's
then
supposed to professionally clean that.
Yeah. And I watch it while editing.
Speaking of coming full circle, before we do get into the Hajime no Ippo stuff, I need to. Speaking of homoeroticism and fighting,
boy.
I played through. My friend and I a couple weekends ago. We played through last weekend. We played through all of Boyfriend Dungeon. Have you guys heard of this
What
game?
is Boyfriend Dungeon?
I'm intrigued.
So this is an indie game that came out pretty recently, wherein so it takes place in like modern day LA. You're on break from college or just graduated or dropped out something. You're an adult and you go to live with your cousin for a bit and in LA and it's just kind of known fact, like as casual as anything else, that like one, dungeons appear spontaneously around town. They are filled with monsters that come from people's subconscious, like fears and stuff. And two, there are many people in this world who are capable of transforming into various weapons. And they can be wielded by other people. And while it's not an inherently sexual thing, it is implied to be very like an intimate act to wield a person as a weapon. So like, there's a guy who just turns into a rapier, and like it's as normal as breathing for him. He's just like, yeah, I can turn into a sword, stab people with it, you know. And so it's half dungeon crawler, half dating sim, where you find weapons and then they turn into sexy men, and then you fight monsters with them, and then also try to fuck.
Oh, I like that.
It was a really interesting time. Like the combat's fun enough to be interesting, and some of the character writing's really good. Problem is, by far the most interesting romantic, because we went whole hog. We found every fuckable person and did the deed.
Whole hog is the perfect term.
There was no more hog to be found. Trust me. And by far the most interesting romantic route was the one woman in the game. There's the guy who turns into the rapier. He comes out like super suave. He's got like a really nice suit and a glass of wine and a book, and it's like, this guy's sophisticated. Boring as shit. That guy is the most uninteresting man alive.
Yeah.
There's a scimitar. Yeah, right. Like just the guy who's like, oh, you're not smart or anything. You're just rich. Okay, all right, I got it. There's a blood red scimitar guy who turns into a person. He's got like long, luscious hair and a 6-pack abs and a leather jacket with no shirt, like bad boy. And then he's just kind of a fuckboy. He hangs out at the club like he's nothing all that interesting.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a K-pop group member who's actually really sick. He turns into a lightsaber. Like A+, love that guy.
Yeah, it's nice.
He's like kind of the only good dude though. And then there's a lady who turns into a dagger. She's great. There's a couple non-binary characters. One of them is essentially a child. Can't figure out how to boil an egg. Like has no capability of like living on their own.
Oh, but it doesn't look like a child.
It kind of does.
Oh,
like
okay.
it's college student, but like
I like
early,
the non-binary thing, but I don't like the child thing.
Same. And I was really pulling for Sawyer is that character's name, and they turn into a glaive, which is sick, like a spear, you know. And I was pulling for them. I was like, at some point we're gonna see like the real Sawyer, and like they're not as much of a disaster as they seem to be, because like this seems like dating a middle schooler. We ended up going the friend route on that one alone because like we didn't really feel like entering a romantic thing with that. And the final like the maxed out like love like level on them is you having to come to their class because their professor didn't accept their test that they turned in a few seconds too late, and you have to bitch out the professor on their behalf like a fucking mom. And I'm like, why is this character even in this game?
Yeah,
Somebody's
no
in.
What happens if you do try to bone that person?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a weird one. Like it dating sims always make me think, because it's like I find that like if there's like 8 different options in like for dating options, 2 of them will be good and the other 6 will make me go like, who's into this person? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I
like romance stories a lot, and I want to see them told better in games, but like maybe dating sim is not the right format for it. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I like romance stories too, and I'm really bothered by the genre because I like them. Because like there are so many ways to tell like the story of 2 people or more people. Like
Sure.
being interested in each other, and for some reason we get the same one every time. Like that bug. That's an example where the formula is like killing the thing for me.
That's
it's
fair.
like I've seen this story.
Yeah.
Like far too many times. Now that's movies and stuff because I don't have a frame of reference with the game.
You're not missing that much, I think.
No, it's basically the same.
The Daddies one sounded really good.
Oh, Dream
I'm
Daddy.
Sad I missed that one.
That's a good time.
That sounded like a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty fun. There's like other ones where there's like one where the person you date is like they like everybody has a dog, and so like their like personalities are kind of connected to that dog.
That's fun.
So yeah, so that one's kind of cute and fun. But again, there were a lot of characters that I'm like, why do you like this person?
Yeah. As somebody who generally dislikes people, I find that to be true. Regular dating as well.
Well, you guys want to talk about Hajime no Ippo?
Let's do it.
Okay. Anybody got a bathroom break or anything?
I'm good for now.
I'm all good.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready to
Well,
go.
I'm going to do this. Time to get a tummy ache.
There you go.
Mm.
Was that a rain?
Oh, it's rain.
Oh, you got the rain.
Yeah.
Okay. Bless the rains down in Africa.
Oh, I can just feel the regret pouring down my throat.
I always thought when I was younger that they were saying Lorraine.
Lorraine,
Oh,
bless like a
Lorraine.
person. Yeah.
Lorraine down in Africa.
Oh,
That
What's
makes
she
a lot of
doing down
sense.
there?
Yeah, I always thought it was God bless the rains. But it's
God bless the
that
rain.
guy had that power, I guess, to bless them himself. So
Still bugs me that was the hit and not is it Rosanna? Rosanna.
Yeah, that is the better
that
song.
drum shuffle.
so good,
So sick.
like such an immaculate groove.
Yeah.
For a long time, there's that Beach Boys song, Barbara Ann.
Oh yeah,
I can't explain this one now, but when I was a kid, I heard Bob Perez. Bob Perez.
I can see that actually.
And I
yeah.
was like, wow, people have been accepting of gay people for a really long time. That's really cool.
I wonder what weapon Bob Perez would turn into.
Good question.
Boxing gloves.
I guess so.
Yeah. And now we can do the transition.
Lawnmower. Just kind of
That's a weapon if you play Dead Rising.
He sounds like a white New Balance's dad. This is my dad, Bob Perez.
Yeah.
He works in water law.
That's
The
like a
bo-
little
the
too
boy-
accurate.
The boringest job that gets paid the most.
I know. He makes $200K a year,
He makes
but
200K a year. Just memorizing who owns Fresno's lakes.
'Cause somebody's got to do it. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Still doesn't change out of the New Balances though after he ruins them mowing the lawn.
Oh no.
I saw a meme one time where it was like somebody's old grass-stained white New Balances, and then they were buying a new pair, and they described it as like a dad shedding his skin.
I've read that. So New Balances, I guess they've done a bit of a brand shift. They're trying to appeal to young people again.
Yeah,
and
because
like,
they were all like really accepted by the like racist community, right? Was
were
the
they?
whole-
I-
No, it was like
I
a
believe
thing that,
that.
like,
That makes sense.
White, there was a whole thing. I shouldn't be talking about this on a podcast because I might say it wrong. But there was like a noteworthy thing where like it was part of like a uniform. Like we were all gonna meet up here and we'll all be wearing New Balances, and that's how we'll know
Oh shit.
like what side we're on.
Well, I
And
mean,
they were like. And they were like giving a lot of money to Trump too, the company.
Oh,
for a
really?
period of time, yeah.
Oh, that's
but
crazy.
the new guy who took over has done a lot of work to like.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I specifically knew a friend who was really up on this, and she X'd out the N symbol on her New Balances, which looked so sick.
That
honestly.
sounds tight.
like, I was into the political stuff, but more into how cool that looked. But then there was like a particular moment where like he turned it around enough that she like took off the X's. Which was,
Oh.
wow! I was like, wow, the symbolism's so wild.
You can wear the N proudly again.
What
Proud
if-
of the end.
What if that was their rebrand? Is just New Balances with X's over the ends?
What were you gonna say about it?
Oh right, so yeah, like I've been seeing a lot of people that I don't know shit about fashion to any degree. I don't know what is a cool shoe and what isn't. Like I just know the ones I like. But anyway,
Yeah.
like people that I think are pretty fashionable are wearing a lot of New Balances now. And like I've read multiple comments like on Reddit and Facebook from like older fellas, like the white middle-aged dads that were the target demographic. It's like
Oh,
you
no.
guys have to stop buying New Balances.
They're
You are
for
driving
us.
up the prices. I can't
Oh.
find them at the Payless Shoe Source anymore. Like,
Won't somebody think of
there's
the dads?
There's a real culture battle going on here. Who's going to own the New Balances? You know,
That's wild. I
Yeah.
didn't know about that.
That is
crazy. We're de-gentrifying New Balance. We're taking over New Balances.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I didn't know when I bought a pair of New Balances that it was a lifetime commitment.
That was
because
a very
they,
political move. you
They
did.
never wear out. Like it's
Yeah.
great. I bought my pair like years ago,
Damn.
and they're just like keeping on. It's wild.
Hell
It's a
yeah.
very efficient shoe. But there's specifically a dad New Balance model. Like there's
Totally.
like the white one with the blue end that everybody can picture.
Yeah.
I used to wear those things for like ages. Like that was just like
Nice.
I need my because I never like I have one pair of shoes and I just wear those until
Yeah.
they explode.
Yeah.
And until I just go get another one. And I didn't really think about it. And I remember being like 19 or so and just being like, it's time to be cool. I'm gonna buy a different pair of shoes. And like I just bought like black sneakers and people were like, those are cool shoes. I'm like, all right, well that confirms it. I'm never wearing New Balance again.
They're so comfortable though. That must have been like a wild transition to just be like, my feet are flat now.
I feel like it should have. I don't know. I've never
Okay.
like, as long as the shoe fits. Like I've never had like a bad pair of shoes. Maybe I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
I also have owned like maybe 10 shoes across my life or something. Like
10 pairs or 10 individual shoes?
I'm gonna 20 shoes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, let's do that way.
My brain exploded at one point in time because I grew up only wearing Converse, which are arguably the worst shoe ever made, which was like my only frame of reference for forever. And then one day I like got a different pair and was like, "There's support. What is it? This is not like wearing socks."
Well, and also like I don't know about you guys, but like I just wear, like I said, wear the shoes until they explode. It's such a that's where I really do feel the comfort in is when I just put on a new shoe and it still has like padding or something,
yeah,
you know, like you can like it's not just like I'm stepping on the ground itself. That's cool.
I've become a slides guy. If I don't expect I'm going to be walking a long distance or like running or something,
Slides are cool.
just slides all the
Yeah.
time.
Slides are sweet.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
fan.
that's a good way to go. I
They're
used to
power play too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to wear flip-flops all the time,
Oh.
and I don't know what it is, but like they make my feet stink.
Really?
Like bad.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Mine never used to do that, and they do now for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like a getting older thing. They just start to reek.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I stopped buying flip flops because it's just like I can't go anywhere
Yeah.
with these. I go to my friend's house. It's like what the fuck is that like beef smell?
Oh no.
Yeah. I never had people commenting on it. I don't know if that voice was supposed to be you or other people, but
No, it was
it's
definitely
always-
me.
for
I've never.
Yeah, I always feel like I can smell it. So I don't
Yeah.
know if it's like an internal like worry thing.
Well, and I think if you can smell yourself, that means everybody else can. Because usually,
That's a good rule.
Usually because I've been a stinky
Yeah.
boy for a lot of my life, so like that's kind of been my rule of thumb, and it's worked out a little bit better for me. But yeah, if you're ever like, if you can smell yourself, you're like, nobody knows that I'm like farting in this chair. If you can smell yourself, everyone knows you're farting in that chair. So that's what I go with.
That would Stinky Boy be your you know what boxers have like nicknames?
That's
Ooh.
Would that be what would be your nicknames? You're like
Oh, I kind of
Yeah,
like
you gotta
Stinky
think
Boy.
Stinky Boy.
Stinky Boy
Stew,
works.
Stinky Boy.
Yeah, but I'd have to be like a 1950s
Yeah,
boxer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Stinky Stew.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm picturing you've got
Stinky
like
Boy
the
stew.
wrestler one piece on, but like you know when wrestlers have the
Ooh.
one where it's like just one.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one strap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one strap. Yeah.
Timeless look, yeah.
Timeless.
And your signature move could be like, just a really nice straight punch,
Mhm.
Call it the Stinky Straight.
Ooh.
Stinky straight and they fall down, then you smell your arm.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's the combination flex, smell your armpit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
That's very good. What about you, Bakari?
Oh, I don't know. The only nickname I've ever had in my life has really just been B or Bach or like other plays on my name, mostly those two.
Mm.
So like, I don't Boxery. That's what they
Ooh.
call me.
Boxery.
That's definitely a cool nickname that they would use in the boxing world.
Definitely
Boxery.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxery.
That's what I think. Yeah.
That is good.
And then I start competing in kickboxing instead, and now I'm kickboxery.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
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 You going, Charlie?
Oh no, I should have thought of one before I asked.
It's the worst when it comes back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Well, let's talk about the anime we just watched. The first 7 episodes of Hajime no Ippo.
It's controversial.
Continue.
Yeah, there's a fight at the end of the 6th episode that I thought ended at the end of the 6th episode.
Yeah.
I was incorrect, so we just finished the fight.
Yep.
So now we watch 7. So if you're doing your homework at home, you should have done extra credit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think even that alone is like the most positive review you can give an anime. Is be like, we literally had to break a rule to watch more because it's
exactly.
that good.
Yeah. No, that is high praise actually. I'd say. Yeah.
So I think I know your guys' answers, but like Charlie, how did you feel about Hajime no Ippo?
I really liked it. Yeah. It's very good.
Yeah, and I take the same boat for you, Bakari.
Fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I've only watched it through twice.
Yes.
I'd watch it more if it wasn't garbage.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big fan. This is like something.
I didn't say it wasn't garbage.
That's fair. Yeah, liking something and whether or not it's garbage.
Yeah.
Mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that's the whole X-Armed episode.
Yeah, very true. But no, like this is something I always come back to if I like need to motivate myself, especially if it's like I've been working out for a while, I'm getting kind of sloppy, like I gotta do something. Like that's what I put on. That's my what many people go to Rocky for. I go to Hajime no Ippo for. That's my thing.
Oh, how fun would it be to see like a Stallone Hajime no Ippo?
Oh my god.
Don't talk about porn. But no, yeah, anime Stallone would be everything I want packaged together.
I want that voice coming out of an anime character. I watched
the very idea of Stallone becoming aware that anime exists would be a wild thing.
I really want to hear Stallone start addressing people with Japanese honorifics. This Bakudochi-san, yeah, really good,
right? I think okay. We're never going to talk about this anime, but
on there.
I think about this all the time where it's like, there's guests that are like good for this show. Like, like good friends and there's stuff like that. But I'm like, in the future, if we ever got really popular, like who would be the guest? And all I want to do is bring on guests that have no right, like, or no reason to ever be on the show. And like Stallone is now top of the list. Like bring him on to like watch anime.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be good.
I actually listened to a very long podcast that he was on because his daughters, who are like influencers, have a podcast, and their most viewed episode, they're like, we got our dad to do one, and he's as insane as he's always been. As insane and disconnected and amazing.
That sounds wonderful.
And he's just like, oh. That's part of why the Creed movies are so good, is because he's just like, oh. There's an incredible scene in the Creed movie, in the first one, where he like writes down a thing for Adonis and goes to give it to him, and Adonis takes a picture and goes to leave, and Rocky's like, don't you need the paper? He's like, no, I got a picture. And he's like, well, what if you like lose your phone? And he's like, it's up in the cloud. Still looks up at the sky. And I love that he like had them add in that scene of him being like, I'm old now.
Yeah, well, you have to establish it in the film, otherwise we might think he's still young.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea of them writing that, him being like, but what is it though?
How great would it be if like then there's like half an hour explanation of like what is the cloud, how does it work?
He's just got more and more questions.
And it's like for the first time, boomers everywhere will finally understand how the cloud works.
I've never seen Stallone use a computer. I think that's like a critical thing to
that's
add.
a good point.
I've never seen one. He has a computer in Cobra.
But he never touches
I don't think he ever uses it.
damn.
He just like sits in it when he cuts like the tips off of his pizza. He
Oh,
might use one in
Jesus.
Escape Plan, but I don't think he does. I think he's like in prison the whole time. Yeah, I don't think he ever uses one.
Well, and you never see like I'm thinking of the photos of Stallone that I have locked away in my brain. He's like good looking guy. He's always walking around. Never see him on his phone.
No,
It's true.
Yeah. Anyways, how about Hajime no
Hajime no Stallone. No, but the show is very good. they hit the formula very well, but like there's so much heart in it, which really works. A lot of grocery bag and fish tackling carrying.
Yeah.
Well, Ippo is such a likable character, so it's like it's fun seeing him be motivated to like do a good job and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to not like relate to him because he's not like such a weird character or something,
Yeah.
Like there could be another story where like Ippo is just like, he's got some kind of weird thing going on, and maybe that's interesting, but like it's not as easy to relate to and whatnot,
Yeah. And I think that really works for him because, like, obviously, like, there's a lot of, like, machismo in, like, fight sports of all kinds. And, like, there's a lot, like, lot of discussions around, like, the idea of, like, trying to be, like, good at violence versus being good at fighting. Like, like somebody who wants to hurt people and somebody who wants to get better at this, like, competition style thing. Like, the person who wants to kill a guy and the person who wants to shake their hand after they're done with the match kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, I think Ippo being just so, like, relentlessly lovable all the time, like, really lets you know, like, this is not that kind of thing where it's, like, horrifying, like, that sort of me against the world, I'm gonna fucking kill everybody kind of, like, machismo that you see in, like, a lot of other, I think, movies about boxers and such.
Yeah.
Like this, it's... I don't know. It's a good character.
In real boxing matches, when they, like, shake hands or hug at the end, they do it almost every time, but it gets me every time.
Yeah,
like, wow,
totally.
That's so cool. They just beat each other up and they respect each other.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but it works for me.
Well, and what you're saying too is like with the bullies, which kind of help inspire him to want to be a boxer.
Yeah.
There's never a part where he's like, time to get my revenge.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of ignores the bullies once he gets into his thing.
Yeah. He doesn't need to beat them. There's nothing to be proven by, like, beating those guys up, even though he could at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or could have back then. That kid is jacked.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, I was going to mention that too. I really like in these shows, Initial D does this too, where they like build in an excuse for why the person is somewhat like talented already.
Yeah.
Like with this, he like does so much physical like manual labor that he like already has muscles to some degree. Or like in Initial D where he's like already driving all the time.
Yeah.
He like knows how to do that stuff. I like that. I like appreciate the storytelling there, that they're like trying to build in like the slightest bit of realism that he's just not just like immediately talented.
Yeah, or he's not like the chosen one of
Yeah.
boxing.
Yeah.
He's also like very underdog. Like, he's a smaller guy, it seems like. I
Yeah.
don't know.
He seems pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Very
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just a total like little dweeb or whatever, but he lifts those like just coolers of ice. In the first episode, I don't know if this is intentional, but like he has one of those fucking like power generators on his back. Like those things weigh a fucking ton.
He's a real strong kid.
And boxes on top of that.
Yeah.
They're like, ugh.
There's a part where he lifts several things, and then a bunch of old men go, "Oh,
Yeah.
whoa! Look at how much he can lift."
I mean, if I saw that, I absolutely would. Like, I'm in such bad shape that whenever I see any kind of, like, moderate physical ability, I'm like, oh!
A few years ago, I was helping my buddy move, and with him and his, about-to-be roommate, and, like, the two of us are, like, not in great shape. Like, we're lifting all this heavy stuff. It's like, oh, fuck, this sucks. And then his, now roommate, like, is just really fucking strong. And so, like, the most of the time when came time to unload the U-Haul was just him grabbing, like, a thing that he should not by any rights be able to lift himself and then carrying it up 2 flights of stairs. And me and him just standing there going, like, wow, you're so strong. Like, we just did that the whole time.
Yeah.
We're just his cheerleaders that day. That's all we did.
Exactly.
And he pretended his back didn't hurt.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is the funny part when like you are trying to like oh yeah, I'm the strong one here.
I'm the
Time for me to
strong
show
one.
off.
And then you get home and have to like take a nap or something.
Yeah.
Need a
So
heating
bad.
pad.
Yeah. Well, it's like my girlfriend lives up a flight of stairs, and like I'll carry some stuff up there. She's like, "Oh, like nice. I'm glad you were able to carry all that stuff." And I just have to like try not to show that I'm like breathing really heavy, and, like going up the stairs and carrying things. Like, yeah, no big deal.
Dude,
Like, come on, in the nose.
Stairs are brutal, even if you're in shape sometimes.
True.
That's like a really good like workout thing, just running upstairs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I had stairs at my when I lived with my grandma, and so I would just run up and down the stairs. That was my exercise because I didn't want to go outside.
Just blast your knees.
Yeah, exactly. Who needs
No,
I would go up them straight
right?
legged.
Let's just destroy our knees. I want to not be able to walk when I'm old.
I'm just banking on them having like robot legs for me in the future.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like
gonna
I'm
happen.
really leaning in on that one. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
I just want to make everybody turn. Like I want all the CrossFit people to hate you guys now. Stallone avidly hates the podcast.
No, that'd be heartbreaking. We can talk about the first episode. First episode is great. It's like you learn who Ippo is. He's this jacked kid who is a total wimp, but he gets, after getting bullied, you know, he gets he learns the wonders of boxing from guy whose name I'm not going to remember.
Takamura. I don't remember his first name, but
Cool hair.
yeah.
Cool hair. The hair's really cool in this show.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for anime pompadours.
There's plenty of pomps in this one.
So many.
Yeah.
It's like everyone is dressed like Kuwabara.
The blueprint.
But with no buttons. As in in either the first episode or like the beginning of the second one, just so you guys know, the guy like pulls off all the other guy's buttons really fast because he's a boxer.
Yeah. You
That's
didn't even
what
see
we
his
were
hands
referencing.
move.
Yeah. They looked like they were in his pockets.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it's
So quick.
it's a good way of establishing like this guy's the badass.
Totally.
Right here, you know?
Yeah. Like the difference between them is immense, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to watch more to confirm this, but I feel like they totally do a Yamcha with that guy where he like gets immediately establishes the badass and then they just kind of decrease.
No, really.
They do. That's great.
No,
I
yeah,
like
no,
that
Takamura
more.
is
I
like-
like that way more.
Yeah, he is like this up and coming like, you know, champion in the making pretty much. And like because like his name and like his emblem, like Taka means hawk, and like, you know, and also means like high up. So I think like symbolically and also just like in the narrative, like he is always this benchmark that Ippo is trying to reach, like that constant goal for him.
Is there an episode where he and Ippo fight?
No, they're in completely different weight classes, I think.
Oh,
so maybe
well,
they
that
spar.
makes sense.
But yeah, I don't think they fight ever.
Yeah, because Takamura is like heavyweight.
I think
right?
he is,
Yeah.
Oh dang.
Ippo's featherweight or lightweight, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, completely different division.
Which one's lighter, lightweight or featherweight?
I want to say feather.
Feather.
Okay.
Unless we're going literally, because feathers weigh way more than light. So
What weighs more, 10 kilograms of feathers or 10 kilograms of steel?
Steel, because steel's heavier.
Steel's heavier than feathers.
there it is.
But yeah, like the whole like I like all like the training that you see. Like I like how they set everything up. There's like all the gym equipment and that I'll never understand how to use.
When in doubt, you just kind of punch it, you know.
What? Did they just had punching bags, right?
There's punching
And
bags.
punch
They have the
bags.
speed bag, you know.
Speed bag.
Speed bag, and they had this weird ball that would like go back and forth, and like you would like dodge it. I guess.
I've seen
Stallone
those.
learned to use that in the third Rocky movie when he was training with
Yeah.
Apollo Creed. Because he needs to learn rhythm. That's
Oh,
yeah.
of course.
It's like a dodging thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was trying to piece together like what that thing was, because there's just like it's just in quick shots, and I'm like, what is this weird little fucking Star Wars training droid bouncing back and forth with this man?
Before we cut away, I should add in it totally relates to, because the third Rocky is the most homoerotic of all the Rockies.
Oh yeah, that's one of the beach scenes.
The beach scene
yeah.
is the chemistry between those guys. The beach scene is insane.
Truly.
Yeah. To summarize it for anybody who hasn't seen it, there's a scene where he finally succeeds in his training, and he and his trainer, who are both jacked ripped in crop tops with like dolphin shorts, jump up and hug each other in slow motion with the waves crashing over them on a beach. And
Beautiful.
It's incredible. Yeah.
The epitome of guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes. Yeah, the entire show, we were just every time they were in the boxing, like the training gym, it was just like guys being dudes,
Yeah.
guys being dudes.
Yep, just
At one point, Miata like clinches him in that last fight, and like the first clinch, it like is like this long, like they hold it for a few seconds, and it's like Miata's lips are like half an inch from Ippo's like
So
nape of
close.
his
Oh,
neck,
yeah.
you know? And it's just, that's just guys being dudes,
Guys
you
being
know?
dudes.
Clinching being when like boxers like do that hug.
Yeah,
thing.
the boxer hug,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I always just called it the boxer hug.
Well, now you know.
Aw, that's how they show their friends while they're fighting.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's also, so I think it's at the.
Whereas in MMA, you just go into the missionary position.
Oh man. There's also in the third episode, there's that like trope of I don't know what it is, but where the guy like, you know, you put your hands together and you kind of make like a gun, and then you like shove it up the person's butt.
What?
I know the Korean word for that. I don't know the Japanese one.
I don't know.
Oh,
but
Kakashi
yeah.
refers to it as 1,000 Years of Pain in Naruto. He does two
Okay.
fingers, though.
2 fingers. Yeah, I mean he might have done 2 fingers, and I
Maybe.
wasn't paying close enough attention.
Sure,
but like
sure.
that pops up all the time
Oh,
too.
he calls it something, but I can't remember what it is. They call it, he gets bumped or something
Well,
like that.
he's getting goosed up.
Goosed,
Goosed.
that's it.
If anybody ever did that to me, I don't think I'd ever forgive that.
No,
Yeah.
never.
Especially if they did it like fucking hard.
Yeah.
But
It's not even like a butt thing for me. It's just like that sucks. Like
Yeah.
it's just a sucky thing to do to
Yeah.
something.
well, yeah, like if somebody like crouched down and like uppercutted my ass, like I'd be kind of
Exactly.
mad.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's not a pleasant thing.
Yeah.
Or pleasurable for that
Well,
matter.
you know, I mean, if you're ready for it, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, maybe, I guess.
If you were ready for it, that'd be even weirder.
you gotta
Okay,
be
I'm
prepared.
ready.
I just feel like it's too much force, you know?
Give it a try. That's like you know the thing with the beer bottles when somebody like taps the top of it and
Oh,
makes
yeah.
it overflow? That's like being ready for that. Like, okay, give it a go. Like, what?
Yeah, you're right. It just still sucks. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh man. But yeah, not long after that, there's like the leaf training scene. I think that's like the second episode is like him getting ready
Yeah.
and all that.
I think the first episode ends with like him being introduced to that, and then
Yeah.
the second episode is him mastering it and then going to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show has like kind of interesting pacing where like the episodes kind of like cross over between each other. Like the ending of the episode,
Yeah.
the second half is setting up what the first half of the next episode is going to be.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that like it's great for like watching a bunch of episodes in a row, but like that must be infuriating if you're just watching it on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic like cliffhanger thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I don't
It's a
know
bit
how
much.
how people did it back in the day. I don't know how I did it back in the day where it's like, you mean I can't watch another episode? I have to wait?
Thank goodness for Mr. Nice Voice. That's all I'm saying. Just come in and summarize the show,
Exactly.
which I hope this had on TV, but we don't have it on what we were watching.
Yeah. No, because there was just, and I mean, maybe they add, because sometimes like they don't
When
have
we
them in the
last
first
saw
few
our
episodes.
heroes.
Yeah. When we last saw Ippo, he was collecting the 4th Dragon Ball. But yeah, so then there's like there's the leaf scene, and I really like that part because it makes me wonder like how hard that would actually be. Because in my head, it doesn't sound that bad.
Well, but because to him it didn't either. But I guess the bigger thing was not catching the leaves, but it was like holding on to a leaf while grabbing another.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why it was like a speed thing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of
'Cause,
cool.
like the technique behind throwing a good jab is like keeping loose and then like tightening at the moment of impact, so that like you can have the maximum like velocity with your hand, but then like have a hard fist to punch with, like actually hit somebody with. So it's like learning that balance of the muscles to like loose and then tighten up right where you need it to be. Because if you don't tighten up in time, then you're breaking your hand on somebody's face.
Oh, you don't punch open-handed?
No, yeah.
That's my technique.
No, so you
Yeah.
got to work on that one a little bit. I think you can punch or you can slap, but you can't slap punch. That doesn't work.
No, just open hands,
Only-
fingers out, right into their bones.
There you go.
I'm like, if my fingers aren't bending backwards at the end of the fight, I didn't fight hard enough.
You know what? I think there's a couple guys in Fist of the North Star who fight like that. So I mean,
Oh, there
yeah.
are.
Yeah, you just got to find a different.
But they
dojo.
also like punch through people,
That's
so
true.
I just got to work harder.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when we watch,
I really want to have a night where we watch the American live-action Fist of the North Star.
oh God, me too.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't.
The what?
You didn't know about this?
I didn't know about this.
Oh,
I
it's
love Fist of the North Star, and I didn't know about this.
It is insane. It's like the Ricky O live action movie, but it was made in America for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like,
what?
Because
we
he
gotta
doesn't
watch it one night.
like
What?
when Kenshiro does his like when he does the "you're already dead" move. He does like he punches a bunch of pressure points and then their heads explode. Right?
Yeah.
The same thing happens, but they're not. He doesn't punch really. He just kind of goes like. You're dead, and then the guy goes like, "What?" And then he explodes. It's like it's the daintiest little pokes on the guy's chest area, and then he explodes.
He just
It's
gives him like a
wonderful.
little massage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's not a
Yeah.
5-finger death punch. It's a 5-finger like poke.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It definitely falls victim to the classic, like, any of those animes you like. Yeah, it's an unrealistic standard, but you still see the live action thing and you're like, he's not buff enough to be that guy. But that main guy doesn't look even like close. Like, they made a really weird call with who they picked for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks very strange.
Because we were talking about it, like Hajime no Ippo has a lot of like hyper masculine moments, but like nothing is more masculine than fucking Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's masculinity bottled.
Yeah. It is just huge muscle men fighting each other to the death over a woman.
It still works for me. It's so good.
Oh, I love it. I've seen the movie. I've never seen the show, but I've seen the movie like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Like I think it's so good.
Yeah, and I still just like get so stoked.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
There was one time Anthony had like a really bad headache. Like it was like lasting multiple times, like super bad migraine. He's in the living room, and I don't know why I did this, but we were talking about stuff. Fist of the North Star came up. It's like we should just watch Fist of the North Star, and I didn't like put together that I'm going to show a man with a nightmarish headache, people's heads exploding.
And it makes that super high pitched like drone noise right before it happens. Oh no!
I think he had a good time, but
screeching thing.
That's so
it
good.
was like basically the worst thing I could have picked.
It's a good prank. You really got him.
Got him.
Oh man.
Oh man,
Fuck, that's good.
that's good.
But I'm really excited to watch the rest of Ippo. It looks really good.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Like,
and even when I watched it before, I don't think I got super far. So
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
be a good one.
seeing that like steady progression of like Ippo's ability is like really really gratifying. I think
I bet.
it's really cool.
Yeah. And
Well-
that's the cool thing that a longer show can do with it is you can really watch him actually grow rather
Yeah.
than then having to like glaze over it.
Totally.
Because there's like 2 episodes where they're basically just like training episodes. Like
Yeah.
episodes I
Yeah.
think 3 and 4 are just like 3, we're gonna teach you how to do an uppercut, and then 4 is like we're gonna teach you how to counter the counter punch.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what's interesting for me, a guy who doesn't know much about boxing other than like the obvious 2 dudes punching. I do like appreciate like all like, okay, you need to like twist your body and do this thing and then you go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when shows can be like educational, even when it's about stuff that I'm never gonna fucking use in my entire life.
Oh, totally.
Even though it's something I do, but even still,
Yeah.
like I watched Yuri on Ice and loved learning about ice skating. I'm never gonna fucking figure skate.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the same for like boxing. I don't know. There's something. Maybe this is just me being like too, like fake manly or whatever. But like when you learn about fighting, like you might get in a fight one day, and you might need to know how to throw a punch or
How to
do
twist your hip.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I feel like the one largest like obstacle
Hell
to
yeah.
like being able to like fight with capital F, is like being able to get punched in the face and not immediately go into fight or flight mode.
Oh,
Because once
yeah.
that happens, you're not thinking anymore. You're not
Right.
applying
Right.
anything that you've learned.
Yeah.
Because like all your senses are right there. Your eyes and your nose and everything.
Well, and like anything hits you in the head, like even like a soft ball.
Yeah.
Like if you're not ready for it, it's like I'm ready to kill everyone in this room.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah. So.
Oh, or I'm ready to run away as fast as possible, which is me.
I saw a friend get hit in the head one time, and I watched him like restrain all of the anger. Like like I've never seen like a person like choke down rage before.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa! And he was just like, "Please don't do that." I was like, "What the hell?" Ah.
That's a badass response. to get
Yeah, that's
hit in the
pretty
head,
good.
though.
Yeah. Very much
Please
so.
don't do that.
Like, please don't. Like, I had one time where I was playing hacky sack with a friend, and his shoe flew off and hit me right in the face.
Ouch.
And I was like ready to kill my friend in that moment. Like, I was like, how dare he do that to me?
How dare he not tie his shoes tighter?
Yeah, this was entirely his fault and not some kind of accident.
That's how dads feel when they see young people wearing New Balances.
Yeah.
They just like fight or flight.
They're ready to turn those white things red.
That's so good.
Holy shit.
Oh man. Oh, but yeah, I liked the training episodes also because they're setting up like because he's gonna go fight his rival in the show, Miyata, and I like that you're setting up like, okay, the uppercut is you want to know how uppercuts work, even if you kind of understand it from just like a normal principle, like punching somebody up would hurt.
Yeah.
But it's important because it comes up in that fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know the mechanics of the uppercut. And I love this shit. It sets up like that he can't aim when he does the uppercut. So when the uppercut happens at the end of the big fight, they're like, "Oh, he missed. He didn't miss." That was sick.
Grazed his chin, and they set that up earlier in their first fight, where Miyata does the same thing to him.
Yeah.
I really liked the sort of progression you see from like that first sparring match he has with Miyata until they're like, their rematch 3 months later. Like in the first fight, whenever the bell for the round like rings, Miyata like multiple times is mid swing at Ippo's head, and he's gonna nail that shot, but then like the bell goes off and he stops. Because like that's not how he wants to win. Yeah. And then once Ippo's like leveled up and they're more like fighting as equals in that second one, they come out of their corners and the bell rings as they're approaching each other, and Miyata's like full on running at him. Like he does not give a shit anymore. He's still ready to go.
Yeah.
The fact that Ippo was able to make him lose his composure that much was like, it really gives you an idea of like not only how far Ippo's come, but like, how the rivalry between them is starting to grow. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Another great moment that really wigged him out from that fight too is when he like hit Ippo and Ippo just like took it in the face and then hit him. And that's like a huge boxing thing too, and I'm restraining myself from using a direct Rocky quote here, but like so much of boxing is like knowing how to get hit.
Yes.
Is horrible. Yeah, and like not good for you.
Definitely not.
But like part of the sport, and like there are guys who are great at hitting people, but they get hit once or twice and they're out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And real boxing hits are not anything like regular human beings.
No, yeah, totally.
Well,
yeah.
But that part's also great because that's his like counter to the counter punch, where like he throws his face into Miyata's fist so that Miyata can't punch at full force.
Yeah,
and then he hits him over that. Oh, that was great. I think that's the punch too, where he hits Miyata so hard that Miyata flies backwards and slides on his head.
Yeah. He comes like skidding to a halt, like head first, and then the rest of his body hits the ground.
Kind of stuff. There was another part where they were fighting, and there's like this like circle of wind around them, like in a Dragon Ball Z.
That was the uppercut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
it's like he punched so hard, like he like knocked the air out of the area.
Totally. They get a lot crazier with like the audio and visual like effects. Like once they get into like the actual like pro matches and stuff like that. Like somebody like stops and pivots on their foot, and what you're hearing is like brake screech, or like tires screeching and stuff like that. And like when Ippo's revving up for a big punch, it's jet engines. They do really cool stuff with the sound effects and just the general presentation of it.
The only boxing movie I've ever seen really pull off like the absurd like close up make you feel how it feels thing is Raging Bull is like incredible for that.
Raging Bull.
It's so tight. The whole movie like literally like tight angle, like you're like in the ring with them. And it's so scary. Like they shoot the boxing parts like a horror movie. It's like it's really cool. It's so violent. Like it's like the most violent boxing movie.
That sounds cool as hell.
It's horrifying. And there's like blood going. There's this incredible shot where he like hits somebody in the face, and the guy's blood. They just make it so over the top, but they like just literally throw like a bucket of blood on the audience. But it like makes you feel the way that would probably feel to just have somebody else's blood just like splatter all over you.
Totally. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, and that's the kind of style that I like in like anime and movies and stuff, where it's like it's about conveying a feeling rather than being realistic. I think that stuff always comes across better.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of like the audio and all that, like the music in the show and like all the sound effects and everything are like top notch.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I really
So
liked
good.
it.
Yeah,
But,
great audio, great music.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like a weird soundtrack too.
Yeah.
It's very, very eclectic with its stylings. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to like it does a good job of like selling the mood and everything
Yeah.
too.
There's definitely a mix of that like indie Japanese garage rock stuff that I really like as background music, and then also that like initial D like EDM stuff.
Yeah.
too. But they like use them both well. Like it all fits.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Really cool song. There's a lot of weird introspective just guitar stuff,
think
which made me
Felicia
really
just had
happy.
Real quick.
Oh.
I think we're gonna need to...
So they think you're going to Shenyun?
Oh, dude, you gotta go to Shenyun.
Who was that sent to anyway? Is that me?
I don't know.
Whose junk mail is that?
I think it went to just the house because I saw one in our neighbor's thing too.
Perfect.
Somebody sent me a meme that referenced Shenyun once, and my brain exploded.
It was
It's so funny.
I saw one of those, you know, the meme where it's like, what's that guy's name? Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner, where he's like looking up, like you see him looking up and his face is all washed in like purple and blue and stuff like that, and then it cuts, it's the Shenyun poster.
That's so funny.
I never noticed that it says at the top China before communism.
That's the that's the selling point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was China
It was
like
before
before the commies? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious, just because I've been seeing Shenyun posters for so long now.
I know. Like it's like I guess we should go at
Yeah.
some point. If it's been going this long, it must be good.
Stay tuned for the Battle School Dropout Shenyun episode.
Shenyun episode. We're gonna go see 6 Shenyun performances and let you know if it's good.
Gonna be like, the really interesting part was their choice to set it before communism.
Yeah, where's the post-communism Shenyun?
I'd give that a math, but keep watching if communism shows up later.
Yeah, I'm ready for the Karl Marx sequel. There's an anime that was like funded by the Chinese government that's like about Karl Marx and
I saw
Engels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that like CGI animation, right?
I don't know. I just kind of
I
saw
remember
that and I
seeing
was
a
like, well, this
preview
is
and
insane.
being like, wow.
Well, like I just can't imagine seeing like a positive take on, like being American. I can't imagine seeing a positive take on Karl Marx like presented in like a film or something. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
it looked very romantic.
Yeah.
Like it looked like it was about his life rather than his like writing, which was like I was like interesting take.
yeah, I think. Well, like what did Marx do? I don't really remember. He wrote some manual or something. I
I
don't know.
expect to turn on the show and him be like, you know what I like? Buying things. You guys like buying things? How about working? You guys like working? You guys don't like sharing, do you?
Oh man, that's good.
Do they like style it up? Is he like in modern day Tokyo or?
No, it like
Damn.
takes place in time period.
I was hoping it would be like Saint Young Men, you know, Jesus and Buddha just being roommates in modern day Tokyo.
I loved that.
That was so good.
But yeah, no, the preview was him like asking a woman to dance, and they ballroom dance, and I was like, "Who is this about?" He was like, "Would you like to share the dance floor?"
Oh,
I was just kidding.
Oh,
I
damn.
added that part in, but yeah, to equally distribute the dance floor amongst the people.
We could have had the Karl Marx isekai. Like Karl Marx dies and he goes to like a magical fantasy world and has to teach them about communism.
Oh man, that would have been so good.
I like that.
He's teaching the equal value between elves and slimes and how all of them are doing labor, you know.
The state will gradually fade away, and then it will just be dragons.
I mean, they keep making these like.
Oh, that's good.
They keep making these isekai isekai series where it's like they don't end up actually like going on a crazy adventure. It's like, I'm gonna help the king of this land with figuring out how to allocate his budget this year or something. Like, if you're gonna do boring shit about it, you might as well like have it be someone like Karl Marx.
Or Bob Perez.
Or Bob Perez.
The water law man.
Weren't you talking about how there were two that were where they became a pharmacist?
Yeah, there's two in which a guy goes to this fantasy world, and then he's like, well, fuck, I like medicine, I guess. I'll just post up in this town and help people, get their medicine. Because I know where to find, herbs and shit. And that's just what he does.
Yeah.
Some of these animes are like, some of these guys are just like hitting the bottom of the barrel hard.
Honestly.
Like I'm waiting for the anime where they're like, I'm gonna try really hard and learn how to dig ditches.
Well, every once in a while you get...
The formula would still work. That's the painful part about it.
Yeah. Well, every once in a while you get anime that's like funded by like a certain group. And there's like one that's like about like Japanese rice growers or something. And it's like this kid who goes to a school to learn how to grow rice and he's like there and he's talking about how he's like kind of an outcast, but he's going to prove to his friends that Japanese rice is the best rice.
Is that Silver Spoon? Is
I
that
don't
Silver
remember.
Spoon is about?
I just remember watching an episode and just being like, what who wanted this? Oh, Japanese Rice Growers Association. Oh, okay.
I've played Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, where it has an extremely realistic rice growing.
I love that there's competition.
To the point where people use like the Japanese Board of Agriculture's like guidelines or something like that as strategy guides for this rice growing in this game about fighting demons and stuff. And that game fucks. I love that game. So I'm the guy they're out for with this Japanese rice growing anime. I'm like deeply interested in finding this because I've done that virtually.
I'll send it your way.
They don't call me a gamer because I have no life, but because I have many.
Are you a gamer?
Sure.
Are you a gamer?
Are you a gamer?
My girlfriend she plays video games. And she, like, one time, like, this guy talked about Assassin's Creed, and she was like, oh, you like Assassin's Creed? I think it's pretty cool. And he just went, like, you're a gamer girl!
I love the adding the girl part to this. Because it's like, it sounds innocuous on paper, but when someone adds gamer girl, like, you know exactly where their head's at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, but, those are the two genders. You have gamer and gamer girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got the census this year, and it was like man, woman, gamer, gamer girl. I like how gamer is like neutral, and then gamer girl.
Gamer girl is like very distinctly like someone who uses that term is a very different person.
Yeah.
It's like, I like how it immediately like changes the meaning of gamer. Gamer boys. It's so terrible.
Ooh.
Where's all the pop songs about gamer boys?
You're a gamer boy.
Well, gamer guy? No. I'm like thinking like gamer girl kind of works because there's like alliteration
the
there.
G.
Nah, it's
gamer
like
guy,
boy.
I
It's
don't
like
like.
skater boy, you know?
Yeah.
She was a gamer boy.
Like if Avril Lavigne wrote that song this year, it would be Gamer Boy, not Skater Boy. Skating's not that cool anymore. Well, it's getting cooler
He
again.
was a gamer boy. He smelled really bad. Man, Skater Boy is a messed up song.
Sure
a
was.
dark song.
Yeah.
I forget about that like bridge at the end where she's like, yeah, screw you now. You're all alone with the baby.
You're a single
Oh,
mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
You dumb idiot. You had a
Dumb
kid.
idiot. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now he's hanging out with me.
We have
You're
no
taking
kids.
care of the baby.
It's a weird thing that
stuff.
she inserts herself into the song at the end of
Really
Skater
weird,
Boy,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because she ended up marrying Chad Kroeger. Like, I don't think he skated. Right?
That's a Nickelback guy, right?
That's the Nickelback guy.
Did you guys ever hear that Hello Kitty song she did that's like
maybe.
rough? The one that's like pretty, like the video is like very racist.
Because
Is it one of those where she goes to like Harajuku or whatever and like
it's very pink and all that. Because that's the one that's
It was Gwen Stefani. Did Pink do that? I thought it was Gwen Stefani.
Well,
I might have her.
There's Gwen Stefani.
There's
No,
so
no,
many
there's
of
both.
those.
So there's Gwen Stefani and Avril Lavigne around the same time released like songs that were like
They took the same flight to Japan.
like weeaboo pop. For,
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst tried to get in on that too with a recording of Turning Japanese.
Oh,
Yeah,
no!
not good.
No
Dyed her hair blue
way.
for it. It's crazy.
Oh,
I like those Spider-Man movies, but I don't. That wasn't it.
man.
I like
That's-
those Spider-Man movies, but I like her in them, but I don't like her as Mary Jane, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
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 I love, just real quick, we should cut this out so I don't get canceled. I love
You're
that,
canceled.
I love that song, Turning Japanese. I think it sounds so fun as long as you don't listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's like, oh, this is kind of fun, but the you know, the Asian note that it does, but like everything else is, I don't know, it's fun. Not enough to listen to it, but I don't know. I just wish it weren't racist.
Yeah.
It's about masturbation, isn't it? It's like that's what I've always
Yeah.
been told. I
No,
couldn't
no,
tell
it-
you, besides the words "turning Japanese," I couldn't tell you a single other lyric in that song. But
I've heard that like they like vehemently deny that it's that. Like even to this day, they say that.
a lot of people vehemently deny being caught jacking off. You know,
So, yeah.
these things.
So
I wasn't doing it.
I wasn't doing it. I just had an itch.
I've never done it.
I don't even know what Pornhub.com is.
My friend looked that up as a joke.
My friend typed in all the bad words on my phone. I swear.
Earlier today, so I used I used messaging on my desktop. Like, you know, you go to messages.google.com, it connects to your phone, and then you can text with the keyboard. And I can type fast, so that's great for me. And so usually I can just type in like MES and then enter, and it like autofills the rest.
Yeah.
I was trying to do that today, and I typed in MES and then hit enter, and instead somehow it took me to mess.com, which, surprise, surprise, is a porn site.
Mess.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and like a very like poorly coded one. It looks like it looks like kind of GeoCities, you know.
What is it? Just like a general one, or do they with a name like Mess? I would assume they like specialize.
You would
Yeah.
think, right? I didn't dig that far into it. I was headed for a whole different website.
You weren't just like, I guess this is what's going on.
I guess I'm busy. Yeah, those people can wait.
Just lock the door.
I
But
can't
also-
not look at porn.
I was just sitting there like, who goes to? I'm gonna like, who's like getting, you know, the getting's good. Got something to do.
Got all
And-
the supplies.
Yeah, you're a man on a mission, you know, you're ready to go. And you sit down at your PC and you type in mess.com. That's
I think that's the most like on the nose metaphor that you need to sort your life out. You're going to mess.com. That's
You go and you log into Bing and you type in Mess.com.
maybe it is. I know there's like a lot of I know there's a lot of people who are into like like food messes as like a sexy thing. Like those TikToks that were going around where it's like, here's a
stuff
great
is
idea for a
interesting.
party. Just boil a shit ton of spaghetti, make a bunch of spaghetti sauce, and then just spread it out all over the table, and people can do this like self-serve. Have you guys seen this?
Oh no!
I don't know that
What the
one.
fuck?
I always forget what it's called, but Ani and her friends like the videos where the people, it's usually like girls, like eat like a lot.
Oh,
mukbangs.
Yeah. Yeah, those are wild.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think that
talking
plays
smack
into
at
a
all.
fetish
Like
thing, too.
I get how they're fun, but yeah, it's very similar to me where it's like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's always a attractive young woman just spreading like way too much
Always.
like spaghetti
Yeah,
sauce
that's the
or like
strategy.
PB&J like just all over a table, and it's like, this is a sex thing, right? Somebody's whacking into this. Like that's what the point
It
is.
feels very sexual to me, and maybe that's on us. Maybe that's us just like forcing that on there, because maybe it's not. But like,
There's a video of a lady making punch in a toilet bowl. I think.
I think it's,
I don't think that's on me anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm in too deep because, like, when you're like, I went to mess.com, I immediately was like afraid, like, that's a scat porn website.
Oh yeah, fair.
Like, I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna like, oh, what's that lady doing? What's that thing coming towards her face? Oh no.
Scat
All
porn.
sorts of depravity you can, get into with a URL like mess.com.
We should hit them up and see if they want to sponsor this.
Hey,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
This episode's brought to you by mess.com.
Hey, the Rap Snacks money
And then
is
you play
drying
the
up,
clip of
you know?
Bakari being like, "You need to sort your life."
Well, I love the idea of like getting sponsorships and not saying anything that nice about the sponsored item.
That's pretty much what we've been doing with all our sponsorship requests. I mean, Rap Snacks, we want to re-up our contract. What's up,
Yeah, I haven't seen Rap Snacks like anywhere in ages.
Oh, really? Yeah, me neither, actually. The last few times we checked.
Yeah.
I think Boosie went to jail. Should throw away the rest of his noodles.
Well, there's a lot of reasons we should throw away those noodles. Oh my god. So we were talking about anime, right?
Oh, right, sure. We were on an episode.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the music a bit,
Yeah.
which was excellent.
Music was very good.
Yeah, sound effects were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right before we went off the rails, Charlie, you were talking about that like contemplative guitar, like just the riff that happens for like minutes.
Yeah.
So good.
Just guitar on its own is really good to me. I really like that because it immediately stands out, but we're all used to hearing guitar, so it's not like shocking.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool way to do that, like introspective scene, because he's not just like sad; he's also like getting ready to do stuff. So it's like cool combination, like pump up and like I'm really thinking about stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I liked what you said too while we were watching it, where it's like Japanese like rock music and whatnot can use the worst guitar tone and it works.
Worst tone, but for some reason they're allowed to do it. It works, and it does. It totally works.
Yeah.
Like they use this specific tone that's horrible. It's like overdriven clean guitar. That's probably how I would describe it. Like it sounds like without a distortion pedal, but the amp's gain is just high, so it just sounds like bad distortion. But it really works for them.
Yeah.
I've heard some American like quote unquote math rock people try to use it, but I don't know. Very much the like 4/4 like new math rock stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me a bit of FLCL's soundtrack
see
a
that,
bit.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because that was all what the Pillows.
Is that the?
Is that the band that did
I think so,
FLCL?
yeah.
Sounds right.
I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
So I'm trying to act like I
in
know
years.
something.
They're a good band.
I haven't seen that show since I was like 17, I think.
Oh,
I never watched the new one.
I think it's like less relatable. Like I saw it not too long ago, and it definitely doesn't like hit as hard when you're like a lonely teenager or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's great.
Okay.
It's one of those shows that's like style over narrative a lot of the time too.
Yeah,
But the narrative
I'm into
still,
that.
I don't know, it still hits.
Okay.
Music's
Rock
really
band.
good.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Hajime no Ippo, it's got great music.
Great music, great intro, great outro. I was a big fan of they did what is sometimes a faux pas, but they did it really well. Where I didn't even notice if you guys hadn't pointed it out, but they used the intro for one part within an episode.
Oh yeah.
And then they used the outro for like an introspective moment within an episode at one point too. It was like,
Yeah.
dang, they're killing it.
I feel like that's gotten a bit less. Like I think people have kind of started to see that as like corny, but like if you can find like the right time to like have the theme song come in like either during a fight or like during a big training moment, like that's your anime instantly goes up like 3 levels for me if you can pull that off.
Well, and this one really, because when I first watched these episodes, I didn't actually like the theme song that much. I thought it was really kind of weird.
Oh man!
And I was like, "What are these lyrics? This is so strange."
He wants to dive lost minds, dude.
Lost that feeling over.
And they even put in the subtitles like he wants to be so immersed in his thoughts that he doesn't think about anything else. It's like a genius annotation,
Stu is like, yeah, so I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, basically, I was, because like then when it played during like the montages in like the 5th or 4th episode, I was like, I'm hooked on that theme song.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so pumped. And now I didn't skip the theme song once while we were watching this.
For goddamn good reason. I took that song off of my running playlist because every time it would come up, I would run too hard and then end up completely out of breath miles from my house. It was a genuine problem.
Shocking Lemon. I would notice they mentioned the band in the credits sequence, and I would fixate on it every time. Funny name.
Oh, it's good.
Shocking Lemon.
I love just those kind of weird, like, it's got to be just a thing, like, you know, weird English names for Japanese bands, like Porno Graffiti.
Yeah.
And one of those, like we were talking about, the oral cigarettes.
Oral cigarettes is great.
Yeah. As opposed to the cigarette suppositories. Or the nasal cigarettes. You know, there's options.
Oh my god.
When I worked at a dispensary, we got constant requests for suppositories.
Whoa.
Weed suppositories? That's a thing? Of course it's a thing, but that's a thing?
We went out of our way to buy them at one point, but yeah, it was like people would like call in to be like, I'm calling everywhere in town. Do you guys have these?
Whoa.
I'm not judging. Like,
I have
some
so many
people need
questions.
it different.
I'm not even judging. I'm just like fascinated.
Me too. I was like, I don't know what the deal is with that, but
It's crazy.
I'll judge a little bit. I feel like there's I feel like there's a little, like, we have all these other ways of consuming things that we have worked for centuries, you know.
Yeah.
It's true.
You don't have to stick everything up your butt. Some stuff up your butt is fine.
I
but
should clarify, it was almost never young people, so I feel like it had something to do with like specific ailment.
Yeah. I just, like, I know people
That,
who
if it was a young person, I would just straight up judge them. Just so you know.
Now, what's the cutoff here? Asking for a friend.
32.
Shit.
So,
No, I was gonna go even further. I was gonna be like 38.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
All right.
No, I've seen people talk about, like, the healing benefits of coffee enemas. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm good. I don't need to put coffee there.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard enough time grappling with the reality of mushroom coffee. We keep talking about mushroom coffee. It's good for your gut bacteria. You haven't been getting those Instagram ads? Is that just me?
I don't
I
actually
haven't
get
gotten those
Instagram
ads, but I know what you're talking about.
That's like all I get. I've never once searched mushroom coffee in my life. Or mushroom, really. I like Baby Bella mushrooms. I'm a very basic person.
Everybody's so into the mushroom stuff right now. It's wild.
What is mushroom coffee? Like, it's like instead of coffee beans, you use mushrooms?
I think it's a combination thereof or something.
I thought you were talking about like psilocybin.
No.
Like
It's not. It's not a drug thing. It's just
okay.
it's coffee, but it's made out of mushrooms or made partially from. I don't know. I don't know the deal.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I knew somebody who
Probably has live cultures, right?
Probably. I don't know. They say it's good for your gut bacteria and it doesn't give you the jitters and stuff. I don't know.
I just want to clarify to people listening, I don't know anything.
Hey, it's
I just
in
want
good
to
company.
clarify, I've already identified myself as an idiot.
The entirety of this podcast, this episode and all others, is us making very clear we don't know shit about shit.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
If you know something, please call in.
You really need the help.
it's a monument to us not being smart.
A monument.
Before we get away from it, I just have to talk about this because it's on my brain. I knew somebody who like went to, I want to say, India to get like these coffee beans that are like special to that region.
Lemurs?
Well, no. So these
okay.
ones are like basically like they feed the
Fascinated
coffee
by the
beans to
lemur
like cats or whatever, and then like the cats shit them out, and the coffee is made from the cat shit.
They do it with lemurs in Madagascar. It's like a whole big thing too.
Crazy.
But cats probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly like the like digestive fluids. I should clarify also, I just started drinking coffee last month, so I'm not
nice.
a coffee person to be
Welcome to the club.
like explaining coffee stuff, but it's supposed to like break down, like have that effect on the beans that people really like.
Insane. It just seemed like
How somebody tried that the first time. Like, you know? Be like, this looks good.
There's a lot of things that I really like eating, but how did somebody figure this out the very first time?
Especially when it's like complicated.
Yeah. How did somebody figure out how to make stock? Like, I'm gonna just boil these bones for 8 hours.
What if we boiled the bones?
I think
I'm really hungry.
I always like to imagine that like people in the past were like pranksters, you know? It's like, oh, we're gonna make coffee, but like make it out of cat shit. And like the guy keeps drinking it over there. Like, do we find something? Like he doesn't seem mad yet.
He's like, this is great.
Yeah.
I love the
What'd you
ones
guys
where
do?
it's something that's like poisonous, but we figured out a very specific way where you can't, like pufferfish or something.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
like somebody died, but we're gonna keep trying.
Yeah.
Think about like kombucha. It's like, what if we made
Yeah.
tea and then just left it out for like a really long time? You
That
know?
had to have just been a mistake.
It must have been, right? Like
Somebody's
yogurt,
been
they
like,
must have done
I'm
the same
really
thing.
thirsty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's like what alcohol is like
Oh, yeah.
somebody just like
Yeah.
drinking old stuff because they're like, I'll die otherwise. Let's see what happens.
Oh no, the
Cheese?
potatoes have been sitting there for months. Well, let me take a sip, see what's going on. You know?
Oh my
Cheese? I mean,
Cheese,
That
yeah.
too,
Maybe all
The
food
milk's
is weird.
old.
I think what I'm realizing is unless it like grows directly the way it is, I don't understand how people figured out how to eat anything.
I don't understand how everybody figured out how to make bread. That's the one that's the one that gets me.
Yeah, because like every
everyone-
culture has some kind
Yeah,
of bread.
they all
you know?
figured it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would never figure it out.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear about that. You could stick me with grain and I would just chew on it. I would have no idea. If I didn't have prior knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah. Like if I wasn't hit with the Battlefield Earth like smart gun.
You could put me in a room with all of the ingredients to make bread and like an oven and stuff. I still couldn't make bread.
You could do that with me with some basic recipes. Pasta is another thing where it's just like amazing to me that so many cultures figured it out. It's just
Yeah.
like, how?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
noodles
gotten
and shit. Yeah.
And they're so good.
Well,
Coincidence. That's all it is.
no, dude, I'm big alien guy on that one.
You think they all got
Oh.
hit with the smart ray?
the smart
Battlefield
way, yeah, 100%.
The aliens didn't teach us how to like build ziggurats or anything like that. They did teach us how to make bread. We couldn't
Yeah.
figure that shit
Yeah.
out. No way.
Yeah. They're like, we don't want to give them anything too complicated.
Yeah.
I hate the like aliens taught us how to build the pyramid.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always like a weird racist context of like
It really is.
non-white people couldn't have done
Those
this.
brown people couldn't have done that themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's always a weird vibe to it that bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
They had to have some aliens or something.
well, it's also like Stonehenge. They're like, how could they have moved these big rocks?
I don't understand. Like we move heavy things all the time.
and like the funniest part about Stonehenge is people are still like, man, there's no way they could have built that back in the day.
Yeah.
And like people have gone out and been like, no, this is how they built it. Like we're
Yeah,
using old
this is
technology
exactly
to do
the way
this.
it
happened.
This is like 99% sure like this is how they did it. And they're like, just no one knows how
It's a
Stonehenge got
mystery.
there.
And it is amazing to go to like old places that are still standing and be like, they built this thing and it's amazing that with no tools they did this. But it's not a mystery.
Yeah.
like they
Well, it's like, yeah, like how did they build the pyramids? Well, there were thousands of people working on it. That's
Yeah.
how.
yes, yeah. And a lot of them died.
That's true. I learned. I think I picked this up off of a Persona game, and I didn't bother verifying that it was true.
So it's true.
Yeah, so it's true. So according to, I think, Persona 4 Golden, these pyramids were built by thousands of people, many of which died, but they were not slaves because they have
interesting.
unearthed attendance records, like people calling in sick and stuff like that, which a slave would not be able to do.
And my
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is kind of similar. Where, at least what I heard was like, basically it was like in the off seasons for farmers, they'd be like, "Hey, if you guys come work on this, we'll give you like food and beer."
Yeah.
And so they're like, "Yeah, got nothing else to do," and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's why people all went
Yeah.
and built the pyramids.
Definitely. If my time as a gigging musician is to be believed, I mean, people do a lot for food and beer.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Give me a couple slices and an Olympia, I'm happy.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
history facts like that where it's just like it's just simple, interesting explanations. for
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, like it just like there's so many like uncomplicated answers to things. It's like how did they get like how are we gonna get over this wall that protects this town that we're attacking? Well, let's just have a bunch of people take buckets of dirt every day. They put one bucket on the hill, and then over like the course of 6 months, we'll have a big enough hill that we can just go up to the wall.
There you go.
Okay, how are we gonna do that? Well, there's 10,000 of us, so
Just need more buckets.
just need more buckets. Yeah, probably more people than buckets at this point.
One of my favorites was in like during like the plague. There was like a whole thing where the water was like infected, and there was this pocket of people that all didn't get sick. And what it was they were all the people who lived closest to the bar, because they just drank the beer instead of the water.
The funniest part to me about with all that stuff is like how when like clean water starts to become like accessible to like all people, humanity's like ability to like make stuff like just skyrockets.
Yeah,
like, the industrial age starts like
dying all the
right
time.
after that. Yeah. Well, you're not drunk all the time.
Oh, that too. Oh yeah, I guess so. Less diarrhea, less being drunk all day. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like,
not that being drunk all day is the worst thing in the world.
That's true.
yeah. No, there's worse.
You don't get a
ways
lot done though.
Oh yeah, we were talking about anime.
This is an anime podcast, ostensibly.
Well, let's talk about the final part of Hajime no Ippo, which is the battle between Ippo and Miyata.
Yes.
Yes.
Great fight.
Wonderful.
Fight.
Yeah.
And there we go. That's the end.
I like
No.
I like Miyata's story is like with like the pedigree. I think that's always a good thing that I like that is featured in like sports anime and movies because it's such a prevalent thing in real life.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
being like raised from a young age, and it's like a very controversial thing too. Or maybe it's not as controversial as it should be. Like
Yeah.
just being like choosing a child and being like, you will be a boxer.
Yeah.
Forget school. Forget any other options.
Well, yeah, and because it's insane a lot of the times because it's like, I'm going to, like, you're going to fulfill the things that I never did. Like, I'm going to live vicariously
always.
through you.
Yeah, it's
you know?
always
Yeah.
like that.
And they play kind of coy about it, but when Miyata's explaining it, it certainly sounds like it was more his decision to, like, try and prove that his father's style of boxing was, like, you know, a legitimate, if not superior one after his dad got beat so bad that he quit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, like,
That
I
was
think it's them
interesting.
maybe omitting detail, but it sounds more like, you know, that's his choice to take up that mantle rather than his dad being like, you're going to be a boxer, no other choices, you know?
Yeah.
Because that definitely puts a different spin on
Yeah.
his character if it's not something he's voluntarily doing.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
the idea of his dad being like, that sucked, I'm going to stop doing it. And the kid being like, I'm going to do that. And the dad being like, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, sure, go for it. Yeah, knock yourself out, kid.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we were talking about the formula, right?
Yes,
I think the
yes.
other thing that works really well with Hajime no Ippo, and that works really well in like sports movies more than other movies, I feel like stick to the setup and payoff.
Right, right.
Like a lot of movies set things up and then don't resolve them for some
Yeah.
reason. But like sports stuff is like, okay, you're going to train. It's like all the stuff with like the uppercut about how that affects. It's like, you know, like, oh, all you have to do is get tapped on the chin and your legs turn to jelly, and bam, it comes up several times. It's
Yep.
great.
At the same time that I agree with you, I also disagree because I think that that's the magic of sports movies is that the payoff is built in already. Like, it doesn't need to be them winning, which is what's so interesting about them to me. They're almost like horror movies in that they actually have options that they can go in order to tell a successful story. Like, he misses that shot. I mean, even though they're like, he grazed his chin or whatever, he still didn't succeed, but he got there. Like, he did the thing, so it was still like a huge success.
He won because
Yeah.
of Miyata's mistake, not because of his own success. You know?
Right, yeah. Like, you can still lose in sports movies, and it's still a fantastic story because you, like, went the distance.
Yeah.
And that's what's so satisfying. And I like that. I like not knowing whether it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Even if I know that they got there and they've won already in their head. Like, it adds actual tension. That's
Yeah,
what's cool about it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and it's nice too because you kind of know in the back of your head, like, okay, this is a
They'll
movie
probably
about the
win.
underdog football team.
Yeah.
They're going to eventually beat the bad guys,
Yeah.
right? So you kind of
Yeah.
know that going into it. So you got to make the journey as tense as possible and
Yeah.
whatnot.
It's part of why, spoiler alert, when he loses at the end of the first Rocky movie, it's like one of my favorite things ever because, like, he is more stoked than the winner.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he did the thing.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted was to do the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the same thing with Ippo too. Is like
Yeah,
even as he's
exactly.
getting his butt kicked in the rounds, he's like, "This is what I want to be doing."
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to be a guy being a dude, man.
Yeah.
He gets that. Yeah.
And
He just wants to hang out with other sweaty guys.
God damn it, he does it. He
God.
is a dude by the end of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And one heck of a dude.
Yeah.
It's
Cut up.
it's satisfying too because like there's the part where Miyata's like fallen and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll get up, I feel fine. but his legs won't cooperate.
Yeah.
And that you had earlier where Ippo was like,
It's like,
I'm gonna he forced himself to stand up,
yeah.
even with
It's like
weird
beating
legs.
the hell out of his legs to try and get like feeling back in them so he can stand up before the 10 count.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I like that part because it also kind of digs in at Miyata and like his whole beliefs about what thing. It's like Ippo is a new guy and he was able to do that. I can't. So it's like it adds to their rivalry as the show goes on.
Yeah, I took that part as like as Miyata like kind of being unable to grapple with the reality of like Ippo being a worthy challenger. Like he is
that's a good
so
way to
in
think about it.
denial about the fact that he could possibly lose that like
Right.
instead of like doing what he has to do to get up when Takamura is giving him the 10 count, he's like, stop fucking counting, I'm still gonna fight. Like he's arguing against the rules of the sport because he doesn't believe that he could possibly lose, and then he
Right.
does because of that.
Mhm.
You know, didn't take his opponent seriously.
Yeah, being hungrier is like really important.
Totally,
and stuff.
absolutely.
And when you're like not anymore, that's when people lose their like championship belt and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they don't feel like they have to try. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Miyata's been like, you know, he's been a big fish in a little pond for a long time. He doesn't get to actually like, you know, fight with the big boys yet because he's only 16. But like everybody around him thinks he's the hottest shit ever, and he always wins his matches. And here all of a sudden there's this new guy who like just put him on his ass.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it too. And also like when you're that good, you don't have people who test your skills.
Very
so
true.
like you don't like the things that you have to do when you're at your limit. If you're not using those every day, like you're just going to be not great at them.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd be amiss if I don't mention this has nothing to do with anything, but they do hang dong in this show.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, critical.
Ippo's got a big old dick.
That's canonical.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
huge.
go out of their way to establish.
That his dick is bigger than like everybody else at the gym.
They do an
probably.
elephant sound effect when they zoom in on his pixelated penis.
Yeah.
That comes up a few times too. Like there's in an episode like a couple after this one.
Oh, heck yeah.
There's a part where I think somebody's want to fight, and there's like girls. They're like out at a bar, and there's girls there, and Takamura pulls down Ippo's pants in front of all these girls, and like as a 16-year-old, like that seems like traumatizing.
Yeah.
that's
Oh
horrifying.
man.
I mean, he's like traumatized by just like Takamura, like, you know, yanking his towel when they're in the showers,
Right.
just guys being dudes. Like he's
Yeah.
like crying about it, literally. Is there like, if that had a slightly more serious
I
tone
like
to
that
it, he
they
would have
did
been
that
like,
too.
Was
like
that?
I like that it wasn't just like a silly thing they shrugged off. That he was like really upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Takamura kind of learns like, you know, where his boundaries are. a
Well,
little
obviously not.
bit. No, I mean, yeah, I guess not. He learns where they are. He doesn't learn that he shouldn't be
Yes,
pushing
that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, but like I guess we as the audience learn that like there's still sort of a divide between Ippo and your typical guy being a dude, you know.
Yeah.
But goddamn it, he's a guy, and goddamn
Typical
it, he's
gamer
gonna be
guy
a dude.
being
Yeah.
a gamer dude.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because it shows the different perspectives also because it's like in that episode where he does the thing in front of the girls, like Takamura is like, you should be proud of this, like
Yeah.
you should be proud, and like he's like, I don't want to show my dick to strangers. Like,
which is you know
Which is completely unreasonable.
sensible.
listen, if it plays the elephant sound effect, like share it with the world.
It's true. Maybe you could take that as like a metaphor for like Ippo not believing in his own strength or something, but like there's some weird trappings to that one, I think.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was researching this show in advance, I saw that there are like several video games. Have either of you ever played any of the video games?
I have not done any research, nor do
Okay.
I ever for this podcast. I should. I always tell myself I'm gonna. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I
did not know that, though.
I have the privilege of having this be the one.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I've never heard of or played a Hajime no Ippo video game. And then, like, do you think they seem good? Did you look into this at all?
No, I literally just saw on Wikipedia that it was a subcategory.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What
Gotta check that out.
What would be like a fighting game is like the obvious answer.
There
But like,
are.
what would be other genres of like Hajime no Ippo games? You could have like training management game.
That could be. I would say that like games like there's I guess sort of a subset of the fighting game, you know, a boxing type game, or even like, you know, that you could say like wrestling and stuff like that kind of falls into that category, like your WWE SmackDowns and stuff like that. But
Are those good?
they're fun. I wouldn't say they're good. You know,
Okay.
it's like I mean, and it's something that's like impossible for me to divorce from my nostalgia. You know, playing that
Yeah.
on my friend's N64. But I mean, you could make like a Punch-Out style game of Ippo, and I feel like that would sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Maybe not hotcakes, but you know, do well.
You could do like a dating sim also, but instead of like dating, it's like you're hanging out with all your dudes.
You're picking your boxer to box.
Yeah, well,
instead
you're
of
picking
dating,
your
just
rival.
smart.
You know,
Oh.
like this. Ooh, who's gonna be my rival?
Oh.
You know.
You just cracked the code, I think. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
that is $1 million Kickstarter in the making. Not
And I'll
from
still
us.
miss all the project dates.
Of course.
Nice. Well, okay. Anything before we get to the final bit here? Is there anything else that we want to cover or anything?
I'm trying to think like what else happens, either in these episodes or in future ones that I would want to point out.
The last thing I would add is there were a couple of heartfelt moments where, and I am very begrudging about this. I always hate being played like a fiddle. But there were a couple of heartfelt moments that like absolutely got me. That were really good. Like the mom leaving him a letter of just like supporting him and stuff was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Him crying at the end of their first match. Like,
Yeah.
really
Oh,
gets me every
yeah.
time. Yeah.
When he cries too, when he gets into the boxing gym, like after like 3 episodes or whatever, like when he becomes a member, like that's
Yeah.
also really, that hits pretty well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's going to be so great to watch stuff get bigger and bigger for him and remember those moments where that was the big success.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because it's nice watching him train from the beginning and like going on this journey and whatnot. I'm feeling like, yeah, I can do that shit too. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got our rating system. Let's wrap this bad boy up.
All right.
So
12 boxing gloves out of 36.
no, we have something much stupider.
Oh,
so we have
perfect.
our rating system of total garbage, and keep watching. And then whenever it's a really good show, we have to say total garbage first.
No
So,
nuance allowed.
Yeah, no nuance allowed. So, Charlie, how do you feel about Hajime no Ippo?
Wait, I'm confused, but it's...
You only
have
get the
to-
one rundown.
Oh. I'm definitely...
We're kidding.
That's not one of the rules.
It's not even a rating choice, but I'm definitely going to keep watching this show. I've been meaning to go back and rewatch it, so I'm definitely going to keep watching. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's solid as a rock.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
has aged really well. too.
Totally.
Sometimes these shows don't like stick. They don't have staying power as well. But this feels like I could watch the whole thing and then come back to it when I was 50, and it would be just as fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's nice too that like, not that this is like a deal breaker for older stuff a lot of the times, but it's
Yeah.
also not super like problematic or something. Like there
Yeah.
isn't like a weird like joke like flamboyantly gay character or something that's
Yeah.
like really uncomfortable or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. For me, it's keep watching as well.
Yeah.
I mean, total garbage. This show sucks. Ha ha ha.
Aha.
Actually, it's keep
Got
watching.
There you go.
Yeah, I kept watching. I'm on episode, but then I did the stupid thing that I do with every anime, where it's like, wow, this is so good. I love this. I can't wait to watch all of it, and then just stop for no reason.
I do that all the time with so many things.
Oh yeah. How about you, Bakari?
Tricked you, total garbage.
Well, given that I have watched this all the way through twice, I give it like a meh. Sorry.
Yeah.
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 This
Yeah.
is fine. No, this is one of my favorite things. I love this thing, and like you said, Charlie, like this thing
Tricks you.
ages wonderfully. Like it was great 10 years ago, and it's great now. Like there's other
Yeah.
stuff like I tried watching Inuyasha again recently.
I've tried to do that too. It's brutal.
It's so rough, man. I loved that show.
I still have so much like feeling for it, but it is not rewatchable.
It's really not. I just every time I like start watching an episode and I go like I can't do this, and then I watch the opening and ending and I'm like that was good at least
Yeah.
because the music is great. It's fucking wonderful. But
Yeah.
yeah, this one not that case at all. Like it holds up beautifully, and I think it will for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this up. Charlie, what do you got to plug? What are you working on? How can people find you?
You can find my music at animealiens.bandcamp.com, and that's really all I have to plug. I don't have much else going on right now.
If
Well,
you wanna,
You will
wanna
find
drop
me
the-
at my house watching movies.
There you go.
Watching Stallone movies over
Yeah.
and over again.
If you could drop the Twitter handle, or any other social medias you want people to follow you on, you know.
I
You
don't
got a
No
YouTube
one
page,
will
you
follow
got a
me.
WordPress. You got
Yeah,
a
no.
Medium.com.
Just the band.
No.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
It's
I love
also
it.
on the apps. the apps that you shouldn't use.
Yeah.
It's on all of them.
Perfect.
I love anime aliens too. You're like, what? I haven't actually like talked to you about it. Like, are you like trying to release an album at like a set interval, or just like whenever you write stuff, or because you have a lot of albums on there?
Yeah. We're about to cross the 50 mark. My big goal has always been to make 100, probably more than that. But like, yeah, that's what I've always been shooting for, is 100 albums.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah, getting there. It's just, it's also just one of those things where it's just like, the more you do something, the better you get at it, and you can definitely hear it in this. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn like that elephant noise when we saw it, but the quality difference between the first ones and where we are now is huge, and it's not necessarily better, but like it's I like it more, and that's what's really important. Is like I know how to make things that I like, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. When you got your own Hajime no Ippo moment of training and getting through it,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes I make them for me to listen to, and when I get to listen to them, I feel like him in the bed.
Yeah, and Stu and I both had the privilege of doing VO on a couple of your stuff. So
you guys
you're part of the Battle School Dropouts universe now. You're part of the canon,
Yes.
We're gonna have the Anime Aliens page on the Battle School Dropouts wiki,
Yeah. Stu did like an intro to one, which he excelled at.
It was so
And
good.
then Bakari did an incredible one too. I did one album where I like wrote a story and then like basically scored it, and Bakari did parts for that were so good. Like, he did. My favorite part about that is I gave the script to people and didn't let them hear what everybody else was doing, so everybody went for very extreme directions.
I didn't know Anthony was going to be my dad.
And Bakari did like an anime dub voice. It was so good.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was so sick. Yeah, Stu's was really good too.
Yeah, love that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Definitely need to tap you guys to do more stuff.
Anytime.
Honestly, I don't ever want to like practice it, but I love doing like voiceover work at any time. It's like, yeah, let me read.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Bakari, how can people find you?
You can go on soundcloud.com/octomammoth. You can also find me on Twitter at twitter.com/8, like the number 8 mammoth. That's it. Those two primarily.
Yeah.
I'll get on Bandcamp eventually. It's one of these days.
Yeah, and I'm Hentai Pizza Lord on Twitter, so I'm still there. And I'm gonna plug it.
So much joy.
I'm gonna plug it for the first time. I'm also posting a lot more design stuff on Instagram.
Yeah,
so
it's been sick.
Yeah,
zines.
cool stuff.
I'm stoked about the zines
Yeah.
together.
They're coming. I have them all printed out, and I just have to like build them now.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited for that.
Hell
But
yeah.
so that's Stuart_Parkhurst for the Instagram.
Dropping the last name.
Very different than Hentai Pizza Lord.
Very, yeah.
And then you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn as Hentai Pizza Lord.
Please, I'm so desperate for a job.
I found
Hentai Pizza Lord.
I found the LinkedIn page for a YouTuber that I follow, and I don't even know how I found it. I wasn't even doing a deep dive on this person's like socials or anything. It just kind of came up, and like it felt like finding someone's diary or something. It was like I'm acknowledging that this is a real person in the real world.
Yeah, I don't like doing
with
that.
a name and like an address and stuff. Because I hated it.
I want them to stay in their zone.
Yeah, no,
In
exactly.
my head.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Well, and it sucks too because you're on LinkedIn, which is like the worst website.
It is,
I
truly.
hate every time I'm on there.
Yeah.
Mostly because I've never gotten a job through it, so I'm doubly mad.
Yeah. It's all, and like people post like articles on LinkedIn about like the grind, hustling and stuff.
Ugh.
I just asked my landlord to increase my rent so it would inspire me to grind harder, I busted my finger on the way into my piano lesson this last week just to, inspire myself to grind harder. That's a real story. I didn't do it on purpose.
The only
I did bust my
grinding
finger
I
on
want
it.
are skateboards and grindcore. I don't
Hey,
want,
what
don't
the
want
fuck,
any
dude?
of
What
that
about
business.
soap shoes?
Soap shoes.
Soap shoes.
Is that just grinding without wheels?
No, so you haven't heard about soap shoes.
Oh,
haven't
dude,
heard
soap
of it.
shoes!
So Soap Shoes had a big collaboration with Sonic Adventure 2.
Jesus
in fact-
Christ.
Exactly. Sonic's shoes actually changed 2 soap brand shoes in that game. They are basically shoes with like a hard plastic, like little divot inside the sole of the shoe, like this part
so you
right
can,
here,
like, grind.
in the arch, so you can grind on stuff. Exactly,
cool.
much less traction. Yeah, 3 kinds of grind.
What a fucking thing to like. Do they still do soap shoes?
Probably not.
Yeah,
but they were like soapers. That was the thing.
Oh
like,
shit!
There's guys on. You can find guys, doing soap vlogs where they're like, yeah, I'm still out here soaping.
I'm sticking with it.
you had that, and you had the fucking the Heelys.
Oh yeah,
I thought those were
Heelys,
fucking sick.
I thought they were cool too.
There's still guys doing that.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
It's weird when you see not a child do it.
Yeah,
it is very strange.
Yeah.
They had that Dane Cook movie where they tried to like he was being like quirky, and that was like one of his quirks. He like heeled around everywhere at the big box store that he worked at.
Oh no,
it was the worst thing. I thought Heelys were like, yeah, that's kind of neat, and then I saw that movie in 2006 or something. I was like, no,
terrible.
No,
just tanked the whole business.
Yeah, there were infomercials for shoes that had like it wasn't like a Heelys where you could just like do that anywhere, but they did have wheels that you could like fold out of the sole of it, and like you could just like have skates anywhere. And I thought that was the sickest thing.
Peter
oh no, it's
Healy
just one heel. It's just one wheel in the back. This had 2 wheels. You could just like, yeah.
Peter Healy is drinking a 40 in a basement. He's like, that damned Dane Cook movie tanked me.
He ruined my legacy.
I was going somewhere.
He's just like holding a picture of his wife, just like, if only
She'd
it would
still be with me.
Well, that's the outro, though.
Yeah,
have a good night, everybody.
It always ends with us telling some stupid joke and then laughing as we fade out, so that works perfectly.